Superdimensional Internet Cafe. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 176, Partisanship. Character vs Strength. Refresh members and vote for all members. Merlin's eyes lit up and felt very interesting. Cola la la. I don't know how many members have been refreshed this time. Whitebird laughed. What he most looked forward to was his family, and the members of the internet cafe are all his family. Of course, the more family members, the better. I don't know what their abilities are. Aizen pushed his glasses and said, wondering if these refreshed non-staff are strong. Only the strong have the value of communication. Only those who are strong are qualified to join our superdimensional internet cafe. Uchiha nodded. However, Dr. Kinnis disagreed and said lightly, it doesn't matter if you are strong or not. The most important thing is whether you have scientific talent. This statement makes sense. Orochimaru nodded. Prolonging life in a superdimensional internet cafe is very simple. Even immortality is not difficult. And now he wants to pursue the truth point. As for finding the ideal vessel, well, Orochimaru is completely out of the way, and studying immortality is out. Science is also a kind of power. If 063 has enough talent, I have no opinion. Aizen also agrees with Orochimaru and Genis. Although powerhouses such as Uchiha, Merlin, and Eluoheo do not like science very much, Aizen feels that science is also one of the paths to truth and is indispensable. The power of science is still very good. Magneto said. In fact, his education level is not high. He doesn't know much about science. He just maintains his son status, then give you a face. Perhaps because of the relationship between the Grey Wolf, Uchiha also took a high look at the power of science. If he was arrogant before, he would not have birded those scientists at all. Well, do you all only care about strength? I think the focus should be on their character at this time. Liuhua put forward a different opinion from the bosses. There is strength in this world. Uchiha hummed. Strong strength, poor character. Is it not a tumor in internet cafes? Liuhua disagreed with Uchiha opinion. I agree with you late, Liuhua Jiang. Aqua supported her hardcore close friend for no reason. Senior Aqua, you're really embarrassed to say it. Eris complained in his heart. Aqua often gave artifacts or something to reincarnators as plugins. Have you considered the character of the other party? Although most of the human beings who are eligible to be reincarnated were not bad people during their lifetime, they also had various minor flaws, and the powerful power of the reincarnators did not know how much trouble they brought. I think character is a part that must be tested. At this time, the awakened Muto game said. As the protagonist, of course, is on the side of justice. I support the game. King of course supports his good friend. Although he did not perform in this trial mission, I don't know why when King speaks, the internet cafe bosses will still listen to him carefully and will instinctively consider his opinion. Uchiha, Magneto, and Aizen are all puzzled about this, and they all think differently. Actually, character is the most important thing. We Fairy Tail will never accept any villains, and in the superdimensional internet cafe, those who have no strength will gain powerful strength sooner or later, but it is too difficult for those with poor character to correct their evil spirits. At this time, Urza also expressed her opinion. It does make sense. There is nothing wrong with Elsa's statement. Aestes, a person who follows the belief that the strong is respected, can't refute it. The superdimensional internet cafe and the owner are the strongest, and everyone must follow the rules of the internet cafe. The strong. There is no shortage of superdimensional internet cafes. Only members with good character are loyal to the internet cafe and the owner. Well, Aestes is completely thinking of Chen. Secondly, Acids and Urza came in at the same time, and they also cooperated side by side with each other to fight against the god of war. I also think that character is important. Lister is so strong, but what he has done has endangered so many people. Misaka Makoto still couldn't let go of Misaka's sister's plan. HMPH, this is a superdimensional internet cafe, not fairy tale. Uchiha retorted. The main reason is that he and Orochimaru, Magneto, and Aizen are not good people. if they really test their character, it seems that none of them can enter the superdimensional internet cafe point. Although they are not big villains by nature, they are all big bosses. Kalalala, I think everyone should discuss it amicably. Whitebird said, yeah, the big deal is to vote. Merlin said point however, in this way, the contradiction is even greater, because of the number of people, Aqua, Eris, Alice, Rocker, Urza, Muto Games, King, and Kasumi Shizi in the internet cafe all adhere to the theory of character, and Whitebird, Merlin, Athena, Luoheo are neutral. People who have lived for a long time know that there is no absolute good and evil in the world. Goddesses like Aqua, Eris, and the others adhere to the theory of character. Only because the heaven is the one that dominates justice point, it seems that the number of people who adhere to the strength theory is very small, which is not fair. If they were defeated because of a small number of people, Aizen and the others might not be convinced. Actually, you don't need to argue anything. I have the right to veto. If you can't pass the test of character and strength, I have the final say. Seeing that the members of the internet cafe were about to evolve into a situation of factionalism, Chen couldn't help but stand up and say zero at this moment. Chen finally understood the troubles of the ancient emperors. The fact that the party struggle is really terrible. As an emperor, if he is not capable, he will really be annoyed to death. To this day, the faction competition is still very serious, and the stomach hurts. For example, the White Album. Obviously I came first. Why is this happening? Why are you so skilled? Point for example, Passaby Girl. I will always like Zaya Shizi / Saint Hui / Yinglili. For example, the flower marriage of 5 equals. The first in 3 days. The 4 leaves are in the sky. The flying fairy outside the sky in May. Erna is like a fairy, and Sister Yahoo is the best. In short, once human beings have their own subjective consciousness, there will be fights, and repeated fights throughout the ages. There have been no exceptions. Come on, one vote veto. You should have said it earlier. Merlin has a black line on his face. Since you have the right to veto, why do you need our opinion? Just arguing. You want to accompany God Chilgamum. Chen said with a smile. Point big brother, I was wrong. Merlin immediately confessed. Speaking of which, God Chilgamum is quite pitiful, and he was locked in a small dark room for a month. As soon as he came in, Liuhua thought of the dead Sunday Lali, and couldn't help feeling a little sympathetic to her. She brought this on her own. Chen didn't show any pity for Lali Shan, and he had to pay for anything he did. Point. After rectifying the Lali flash, the newcomers who joined later will know that Chen has absolute authority in internet cafes, as long as they have watched the memory video in the first place. Point. Apart from the idiot of Big Wolf, who would dare to provoke Chen, or Achimaru and Dr. Kines. Okay. Liuhua was not familiar with Gilgamesh, so 3.7 didn't help her anymore. Point. At this time, Chen said again, in fact, instead of arguing, you might as well look at the candidates who need to vote. Yeah, the old man just wanted to know how many lucky people there are this time. Whitebird said. Point. This time, it's 3 out of 6, and there are several you know. Chen smiled, then announced the list of candidates. Number 1, the Goddess of Luck and Darkness. 2nd place, the Bold Devil. 3rd place, the Witch of Sardinia. 4th place, God Killing Wolf. 5th place, Bunny Girl Senpai. 6th place, the Strongest Medusa. PS. I recently saw the animated version of Wudang Kyankan on Penguin Video, and it feels okay, but I didn't expect the PV of Fighting Special Episode 2nd. Queen Medusa to appear after the 2nd episode. Suddenly, I feel like a Sun Snake impulse. Chapter 177. It's almost as good as Aqua, the Goddess of Luck and Darkness, the Bald-Headed Devil, the Sardinian Witch, the Wolf of the Gods, the Bunny Girl, and the Strongest Medusa really have a few familiar names. Liuhua read her name and instinctively looked at Eris, Chen, Athena, and the Bald-Headed Devil, who had been awake for a long time on the ground, but was ignored by everyone instinctively. Point. After all, the Bald-Headed Devil has no sense of existence. He woke up within a few seconds of being knocked out, but everyone didn't see him, and he was directly treated as a light bulb, even though his head was really bright. Hee. Eris, you see there is a goddess of luck and darkness among the candidates. Be careful that your position is replaced. Aqua blinked, looking at Eris, and teasing Point with such a big crisis. This little girl, Eris, should panic. Wow, senior Aqua. Eris is speechless. I really don't know how to respond to Aqua Point at this moment. All the members of the internet cafe looked at Aqua with caring and mentally retarded eyes. In particular, Whitebird was particularly distressed by this woman. She was a good looking person, but she was mentally retarded, and she still couldn't be cured. It really made him feel so distressed. As a father, Akuya-chan, the goddess of luck and darkness, should be referring to Eris. Liuhua didn't want Honey to be too embarrassing, so she couldn't help reminding, is that so, Achan? Aqua was slightly dazed and turned to look at Chen, not feeling embarrassed. Liuhua's guess is correct. Chen touched Aqua's head. Sure enough, mental retardation is also a blessing. If other goddesses showed off their IQ in public, they would be embarrassed, but Aqua could pretend that nothing happened. By the way, Chen, the strongest Medusa, is not actually a concubine. At this time, Athena asked with a cold face. She has the godhead of Athena, Medusa, and her mother Metis, the Trinity goddess, and she can be regarded as a Medusa. Point, isn't she the strongest? Athena is dissatisfied. Actually, this title ID is not necessarily accurate. At this time, King said, it is a serious mistake to say that I'm the strongest man on the surface. This title is obviously the bald-headed demon king. Athena nodded slightly, and the fighting spirit slowly subsided. Although the title is not credible, it also reflects certain facts. My original ID was a super old man, and indeed everyone in the Soul Society thinks so. So the strongest Medusa must be the strongest in the eyes of the world. Medusa. Aizen forcibly explained a wave at this time and provoked Athena's fighting intent. Athena source, you want to know whether she is strong or not? Just wait for her to enter the internet cafe and discuss with her. Zyos is, he said. Athena is slightly speechless. It's not that the idea of the bundle of Zyos is not good, but after she recovered the Trinity, no one has called her Athena source for a long time. Listen, kindly. Actually, the idea of the strongest Medusa is correct, but she is not the strongest Medusa now, but has the strongest potential in the future, second only to the master of the Dakian universe, and the title of king is correct. But that title, it wasn't his. Wait, I'll give you the original video of King's World. Chen smiled slightly. Is it the strongest potential? Athena can rest assured, now that Medusa's potential in the superdimensional internet cafe can surpass her. It does not exist. Original. However, when King heard Chen's emphasis on the word in the original work, there was a faint feeling in his heart. Does anyone want to ask about these 6 candidates now? Chen asked at this time. We all know about these 6 people, Riris, Saitama, and Lucula Zizala. But we don't know about God-killing Wolf, Bunny Girl Senpai, and the strongest Medusa, so we vote for those 3. Unfair. Whitebird then offered his own opinion, a very reasonable one. However, Enel had an expression of seeing through the truth and complained, Dad, what you said is fair. It is true that you want to watch more dramas from the member world. Brat, what did you say? Whitebird slapped Enel on the shoulder, nearly knocking him down. And Liuhua, Alice and the others immediately turned their faces away when they saw Whitebird's behavior that was almost annoyed. Actually, I understand how Dad likes to chase fans. Liuhua said with a smile, I think it's good to follow up. It's not shameful for a strong person to have a special interest. As an added point, although the chase is not well trained and time consuming, it's a good choice to learn more about the Otherworld. Aces also agreed. Okay, don't talk for me. I'm an old man who is chasing me. How can I apologize for it? Whitebird waved his hand. His expression was a little bitter. These days, if you are old, you will be despised. Yes. Haha. Hearing this, Magneto, Laozi, Merlin and others all laughed. They have also become obsessed with chasing recently, and they are not small anymore. HMPH, what's the point of chasing? Uchiha Madara said dismissively, who watched Hokage Ninja all night, scolding Naruto for garbage, watching it with relish, watching it over and over again. Aizen mercilessly exposed the true face of Uchiha Maxi Angbon. I'm just analyzing the intelligence. I think there may be a huge conspiracy behind my world. I'm not necessarily the final boss. Uchiha Madara's face flashed a red light and hurriedly defended. Oh, yes. Then can you tell what the conspiracy is? Aizen pressed. I haven't found this yet. Uchiha Madara hesitantly said, I didn't expect it. Aizen said with a smile. Aizen, do you want a duel? Uchiha Madara said angrily. Duel? Speaking of which, we haven't played against each other since we entered the internet cafe. Aizen was slightly moved when she heard the words, is your duel? I'm looking forward to it. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth. Aizen is a mixed player of science and mystery like him. It would be great if he could beat Uchiha Madara and report him for being bullied by Uchiha Madara hatred. Hey, it's voting now. You guys are involved in a duel again. Liuhua muttered point however, they did not expect that Uchiha Madara, Aizen, Magneto, Orochimaru, and Dr. Kenneth would say in unison, vote, we will vote for Goddess Eris, Saitama, the third place, and it is up to the leader to decide. We have no opinion. So simply, Liuhua was slightly surprised, thinking that they, the villains, would have to argue with their protagonists. Goddess Eris has entered the internet cafe and participated in the mission. She is powerful. It is estimated that everyone will vote for her. Such a choice is normal. At this time, Muto Games lightly analyzed, the bald-headed devil is not the protagonist, no matter how you look at it, and he is currently the strongest among the members, and his character is also seen in battle. It is reasonable to vote for him. Everyone also 067 has no opinion. As for the last one, everyone knows it. Muto Games remembered the picture of the leader and the Sardinian witch kissing. Probably because they wanted to sell Chen's face point. It's just that Aizen and their ideas are good, but they have made a mistake from the beginning point since super good guy is the villain. Why can't the bald-headed devil be the protagonist? Aizen and the others really miscalculated this time. Brother, we have roughly the same opinion on the first two places, but the last one. At this time, Luoheo tugged at Yi Chen's sleeve, Aqua held Yi Chen's hand, and Athena stared at Yi Chen coldly, not wanting Luculasia to enter the internet cafe now point. That witch was too bold. Before, Luozi and Athena could suppress Luculasia by their strength. If she entered the internet cafe, she would not need to be afraid of them. The ghost knows whether the witch will eat Yi Chen point. They are here to protect Yi Chen's chastity, but Yi Chen didn't know their real purpose, so he thought about it and said, the first two places can basically be determined, but for the sake of fairness, I will now list Eris, One Punch Man, Luculasia, and Godkiller. The relevant memory videos of Wolf, Bunny Girl, and Queen Medusa are uploaded, and you can vote again after watching One Punch Man. That sounds interesting. Saitama's eyes lit up on the ground, and he stood up and asked, what the hell are you talking about? I don't seem to understand. When the internet cafe members heard it, they were stunned collectively. This guy was awake point. Moreover, he didn't understand what we were doing the whole time. Hey, how big his nerves are. It's almost comparable to Aqua. Chapter 178 Saitama, King, Doubt Life. Why do you always have an expression of caring for a fool? You want to fight and continue to come. Saitama saw that people around him looked at him like a fool, and immediately shouted in anger, this is angry and angry. Could it be that Aqua-chan has really met an opponent? Rocker looked at Saitama and murmured, can Saitama really compete with Aqua on the bottom line of intelligence? An opponent? Why an opponent? Aqua blinked her cute big eyes and asked curiously, it's just that you are very powerful, even the bald-headed Demon King can't compare. Yi Chen stroked Aqua's hair and smiled, hee hee, of course I'm amazing. Aqua was overjoyed when she heard the words, hey, that's enough for you. Saitama was even more annoyed when he heard the words, and even compared him to a girl who seemed to be mentally retarded. Is this guy really the great Demon King? Magneto didn't think much about it at first. Before, he just thought that Saitama had the power of a great devil, but was too kind. But now he is more than kind, and his behavioral strength is simply a bit stupid. In fact, during the trial mission, when he was coerced by me and didn't take action, I had a vague guess. Aizen pushed his deep-rimmed glasses, flashing rungs his light. Shen. After the fact, Zhuge Liang, who wouldn't? Uchiha Madara dismantled Aizen's stage without hesitation, avenging the revenge just now. Who is Zhuge Liang? Laozi seems to have some impression of this Chinese name. Where did he read it? Old man, you don't even know Zhuge Liang. Liuhua was shocked. My god, aren't you all from China? Alice said, should I know Zhuge Liang? Laozi spread his hands, his expression a little innocent. The old man is from the Zhou dynasty, and Zhuge Liang is from the end of the Eastern Han dynasty. How could he know Zhuge Liang? Yi Chen tapped the little heads of Alice and Liuhua. How they learned the history. Not as good as Uchiha Madara. It hurts so much. And being knocked by Yi Chen, Alice found that she was a little excited in her heart. It hurts. Liuhua had a small head hanging on her head, and her eyes were misty, and she muttered, then how did Uchiha Madara know that there is no China in his world? There is a book called China 5000 Years on the internet. I think that country is very mysterious, so I want to know more about it. Uchiha Madara said, I didn't expect you to be quite knowledgeable. Aizen said lightly, don't think I don't know that you read Book of Changes, 8 trigrams and Tao Te Ching every day and you are still studying with light and dust. Uchiha Madara snorted, exposing Aizen's hidden behind the scenes behavior. This guy has been collecting and understanding the information of the members of the internet cafe so as to surpass everyone. The two of you don't fight each other. The leader of the team will start uploading the memory video. Merlin said, well, the first upload is the memory video of Eris. You have no opinion. Yi Chen looked at Eris. As a lovely and beautiful soft girl goddess, Eris naturally has no opinion. Moreover, her actions are upright, and there are no dark spots that can't be seen, except that her turbulence is made up. But few people know about this except Aqua Senpai, and the leader of the team won't know either. Wait for me. Eris remembered his black spot and hurriedly wanted to stop. But Yi Chen has already uploaded the memory video. Ding. System prompt. Master Yi Chen uploaded the memory video Eris Gaiden. This memory video is based on the story and side story about Eris in Blessings for a Beautiful World. It can be seen in it that Eris is a serious and responsible goddess who has been helping Aqua and has incalculable followers. And is a really respectable goddess compared with Aqua. It is like a world. I didn't think Eris was that good before, but after looking at Aqua's performance. Up to Merlin, Whitebird, Aizen, Uchiha Madara, down to Urza, Alice, Rocker can't understand. They are all goddesses. Why is there such a big gap? HMPH, isn't it that it looks sweet and looks a little holy, seeing that the internet cafe members' goodwill towards Eris has skyrocketed? Aqua suddenly became smitten again. No. It's not about the outside, it's the inside. At this moment, the members of the internet cafe flashed such thoughts in their hearts at this moment. Eris was also relieved. He glanced at Yi Chen gratefully and said to himself, fortunately, the leader didn't expose my dark spots. After watching the memory video, you can vote. Rest assured, you can vote for all 6 candidates and see who has the most votes at the end. Yi Chen said at this time, say it earlier. Merlin breathed a sigh of relief. Although it was 3 out of 6, there were not necessarily only 3 who were excellent. It was possible that all 6 were excellent. You can choose more than one. What if the number of votes is the same? Aizen asked a crucial question. It's very simple. Draw lots. Yi Chen smiled and said, forehead. In the face of this primitive method, Aizen is really speechless. It is really the best method. It's a bit of a joke, but it's absolutely fair. The first round of voting is over, except for Grey Wolf who abstained from voting. All the other members voted for Eris. Yi Chen was slightly stunned. He didn't expect Aqua to vote for Eris too. Aqua still cares about Eris as for the only Grey Wolf to abstain. Grey Wolf originally wanted to vote for Eris, but when Red Wolf saw that he was secretly watching a video of a goddess, he threw a frying pan over and smashed him. The appearance of the big wolf now is a tragic comparison. Now in second place, the memory video of Luke Eurasia. Her life is actually very short. After the first round of voting, Yi Chen uploaded a video of Luke Eurasia's life. Quite simply, a talented witch with a great reputation. Sardinia is her territory, and in her world she belongs to the first echelon under the god slayer Luculasia, knew Godao Kusanage's grandfather. When he was young, he was a friend. He felt that Godao Kusanage's grandfather was a bit peculiar. He liked adventures, and was a playboy. The magic book that attracted the god of disobedience was handed over to him. Nothing special after that. The only special thing to say is home, and loneliness. The witch is particularly lonely. Her lifespan is far beyond that of ordinary humans, and she cannot live the life of a normal person. Instead, the goddess is her perfect spouse. For Luculasia, most of the internet cafe girls didn't give her votes, mainly because they were unclear with Chen. 3 of the girls gave her the votes. Hatsune Miku and Eris gave Luculasia the votes because of their good hearts, and the other was Saint Megumi, who knew the whole thing. Almost all of the male members like Merlin voted. After all, they gave the team leader a face, and Luculasia's strength and talent were decent. Unfortunately, half of the internet cafe staff were female. So basically announced that Luculasia is cool. If Luculasia herself knew that so many goddess level girls were targeting her, then she really didn't know whether to feel disappointed or honored. Now the original memory video of the next One Punch Man, that is, the future of the world of the Bold Demon King and Dr. Kenneth. At this time, Yidi began to upload the third memory video, which was also the highlight of this vote. This is the original version of One Punch Man. Hey One Punch Man. Dr. Kines took a deep look at Saitama and thought it was probably him. In other words, this bald-headed devil is likely to be the protagonist, not the villain. Aizen, Archer Hamadara, and Magneto made a blunder. They voted for the protagonist just now, but they will not regret it. Saitama is so strong and qualified to enter the Superdimensional Internet Cafe. Although, Wangzhou, Saitama's mission is very competitive, they are not the kind of people who have no power to achieve today's achievements. The real purpose of Aizen's rebellion against Soul Society is to hope that someone will stand by his side or surpass him, and of course he will not be jealous of Saitama. The main event is finally here. Whitebird said expectantly, yeah, a world with such powerhouses must be very bloody. Enel nodded, I didn't expect the bald-headed devil to be the protagonist. Muto Game said with some envy. Such a strong protagonist can do whatever he wants. However, when it comes to doing whatever he wants, Chen thinks that Muto Game, the king of the game, can really do whatever he wants in the duel arena. The life of Muto Game, who can be called a winner in life, is much better than Saitama. However, Chen didn't know about their thoughts. Chen just hoped that the expressions on their faces would not collapse when they saw the original version of One Punch Man. Ding. System prompt. Master Chen uploaded original version One Punch Man. After being prompted by the system, everyone watched with anticipation, and then their faces became stiff. Saitama and King directly doubt life. Damn, what the hell kind of painting style is this? Chapter 179. The villain turns out to be a vulnerable group. Looking at the original style of One Punch Man, Saitama and King couldn't calm down, let alone them. Dr. Kenneth, who didn't pay attention to his appearance at all, was stunned and could not calm down. Stickman painting style. King couldn't believe it. He actually looked similar to a stickman. No, your abstract appearance in the video can be called human. Orochimaru's face twitched, feeling more abstract than illusion. One Punch Man's original comic, really abstract and scary. The stickman's painting style is not so rough. It's a ghost painting. Laozi murmured. The memory videos are all in the realistic style of two-dimensional paintings. Although Hokage, One Piece, Shinigami and Godslayer are all different, the young people who appear in internet cafes, except the assassin Woolyuki, are all handsome and beautiful. And after Saitama and King's original two-dimensional painting style was realized, it was scary to death. Is it really human? Saitama, King, Dr. Kines, have you all had plastic surgery? Enel couldn't help asking, it's really careless. It's the first time I've encountered this style of painting. Whitebird had to accept it, but fortunately he had patience, otherwise this style of painting would really persuade him to quit. How do I know? King is very innocent and very hurt. The memory videos of others are all handsome guys and beauties. As for his memory videos, he directly became a masterpiece of abstraction. Damn, my handsome appearance. Saitama was more depressed than King. In fact, he was handsome before he went bald, and he was a talented person, but after the show, his eyes were dull, his face was indifferent, and he had no sense of existence at all point. But it's still more handsome than the one in the memory video. Master Chief, why is this? Liu who are asked curiously point the world where King and the Bold Devil are located is like a draft, even worse than the original drawing in the comics. This is the true appearance of their original world, but this world has been remade, and there is King and Saitama what they are now. Chen smiled slightly and revealed the mystery, remaking the world, so powerful? 0.67 inches Liu is loved, and the one who can remake the world must be the creator. The creator. Does the creator really exist? Athena murmured point as a god. In fact, she has always been curious about the existence of the creator. Aqua and Eris don't have this idea, because there is indeed a creator god in their world point, and Chen couldn't answer Athena's question, and didn't know if there was a god of creation in her world point. Team leader sir, I have a question. The original appearance of this world is so abstract, so is our original appearance of the world as well. Aizen asked at this time point in his world, the Spirit King is the god of creation, but he is not as strong as the legend, and he has fallen into an endless slumber, as if he were dead, so Aizen does not want to surrender to that kind of thing. Point it's just that Aizen is also curious whether Shinigami's world is also an abstract world at the beginning. That's not true. It's rare in the world of One Punch. Chen smiled point where is the original comic book so sloppy? That's good. Aizen nodded, so he felt at ease. Actually, it's not that hard to accept point at this time. Dr. Jino was relieved, and his expression was very Buddhist. After all, he was not the kind of person who was concerned about appearances. It's just that King and Saitama are a little unacceptable. Their original virtues, but luckily the world has been remade. It's really fortunate. Killer la. I've already watched half of it. I didn't expect it to be a magical drama point at this time. Whitebird actually laughed and took a deep look at Saitama. He found that One Punch Man was not only passionate, but also had many questions worthy of thought. Point these are the charms of this show. Point it is no wonder that Saitama is called Saitama teacher, and his character really makes him admire. Point I'm just a hero out of interest, and this sentence made Whitebird a direct fan of Saitama. Kalalala, the old man is just a pirate who is interested. In his heart, Whitebird decided that the next time he went to suppress the other 4 Emperor's pirates, he would act like this. Speaking of which, Dad, you can look at this style of painting. Enel found that he underestimated Dad, and he was so cold that he swallowed everything. As long as the content of the story is good, the style of painting, etc., it's trivial. Whitebird smiled proudly. Brother, you must have a remake of the memory video. Luoheo snorted at this moment point, although she was not particularly fond of fan dramas. After hearing Whitebird said it was a divine drama, she became interested in the story of One Punch Man, and she would rather watch such a rolling grass memory video. Watch Blissful and the Big Bad Wolf. Point and Aqua, who was also curious, also pouted, hugged Chen and said coquettishly, Achan, I don't want to see this style of painting. Okay, I'm uploading the remake of One Punch Man. Chen couldn't stand the coquettishness of Aqua and his sister, so he immediately remade the painting style of One Punch Man, then animated the video, made it into a memory video, and uploaded it to the internet cafe. It's more comfortable. Point Aqua and Luoheo said with emotion, when they looked at this exquisite style of painting. Point the characters in the memory video this time feel more real than King and Saitama in front of them. Point Alice, Rocker, Urza, Acids and the others were very satisfied with the remake style, and then began to read it. The plot is invincible, and it's not quite right. Liuhua and the others watched the first episode, and found that the dragon level monster vaccine with rank 5 strength was instantly killed by Saitama with one punch, and then Saitama cried out that he was too strong, and immediately understood that this was an invincible flow point. But as the plot unfolds later, she finds an unusual bright spot. Saitama has invincible power, but abides by the rules and laws of the human world and sticks to his heart. Point when the meteorite fell, He protected the citizens, was jealous of other heroes, incited the crowd, and was blamed by the crowd for causing a lot of damage to buildings. But Saitama was still a hero of interest. In the Deep Poseidon incident, the heroes of the Hero Association who saved the common people lost one after another. And the undocumented knights are ordinary and weak, but they will not retreat. Evil fight. Heroes fight to the death. It was delayed until Saitama appeared, and he fell deep into Poseidon in seconds, but a keyboard warrior in reality questioned that sea level heroes could do it. Why other heroes were so bad, but Saitama maintained the hero's face, took the initiative to say that he was a badass, and pulled it cheaper than other heroes instantly restore the trust of the group. Cat, in the Hero Association. This question is worth pondering. There is also the question of King. It turns out that King is Saitama's stand-in. Simply put, King took the credit for Saitama point, and King is passive. Lucky thief. Every Saitama battle is within King's range of activities. King, who originally lived a peaceful and quiet life, didn't want to be a hero, but he wanted to explain, but couldn't explain it, mainly because fans blew him to the sky. Full of hope for him, there was the strongest man on the surface. Living in this strange man civilians in the world can feel at ease, and King can't bear to break their illusions. There was no explanation at the beginning, but it became unclear later, and no one believed it, even when it was said. Now they finally understand why Chen said that they also have a fault with King, because they blindly believed in the title of the strongest man on the surface. At the same time, they also feel very clear that King's luck is really super special, even if they know the truth now. It is still difficult to treat him as an ordinary person. I didn't expect my title to come from Saitama-kun. King looked at Saitama's complicated words. His glory has always been for Saitama, and the reason for Saitama's obscurity is that he stole his credit. What title? The strongest man. I'm just a hero of interest. But for fame and fortune, Saitama basically doesn't care. He only cares about whether there are powerful enemies in the video. And at the end of the video, I really found a powerful enemy, the cosmic overlord Boris, an alien with the power of a demon. Powerful enough to collapse the star. It's a pity that it's only tier 6 strength. For Merlin, Aizen, Uchiha Madara, they are a strong enemy, but for Saitama, it is just a serious punch. But this battle is extremely bloody. However, it is not Saitama who is bloody, but the cosmic overlord Boris, who knows he is lost, but still fights with his life. Come on Boris, run Boris, you can't beat the ball devil, don't lose. Boris. In the memory video, Liuhua and the others actually saw some barrages cheering for Boris. However, these barrages seem to be shouting out their hearts at the moment. No wonder Saitama is known as the Bold Devil. The true meaning of this title is the time the villain survives, the time when the bald-headed devil is not encountered. Saitama's strength is like the great devil in the story, and those weirdos become heroes who challenge the impossible. Although Saitama is a righteous party, Boris is indeed worthy of respect for risking his life to challenge the impossible consciousness, and most are sympathetic to the weak. It's just that no one thought that the villain of One Punch Man would become a vulnerable group. Suddenly I feel that the villain is not good enough, and I kind of want to go back to Konoha to be a good baby. After watching the One Punch Man video, Orochimaru wondered if his world would have such an awesome protagonist. You can rest assured that the protagonist of our world is going to die. I want to educate him personally and watch him as a fool. Uchiha Madara was very dissatisfied with Naruto in the early stage. In fact, Naruto really rose at the end of the chapter, and his strength has always been it doesn't go up or down. It looks very uncomfortable. I don't know if there is such a powerful protagonist in my world. Magneto is a little empty in his heart. To be honest, he doesn't know the Marvel world. Hearing this, Chen sighed inwardly. There are too many awesome people in the Marvel world. Protagonists, villains, and gods. It is estimated that Magneto will be worried every day, so I won't tell him for the time being. Alas, that Boris is a pity. Aizen said with a little regret. He has been alone all his life, seeking defeat, longing for an opponent, and started the road to dominate the universe, but unfortunately he encountered a strong enemy that he could not defeat no matter what. Boris is somewhat similar to the pursuit of the first half of his life. Aizen is invincibly boring to rebel level. All of you big villains, why are you sighing all of a sudden, as if you have become a vulnerable group? Liuhua complained, isn't it? After Saitama joined, we are a disadvantaged group in the Superdimensional Internet Cafe. Dr. Kenneth looked at Saitama and was really shocked. It turned out that his ultimate destiny was to change his ways, and the reason was that he met Saitama Demon King. Master Captain, I think we villains need your special protection, Orochimaru said without any morals. Chen was speechless for a while. This Orochimaru's learning ability is really strong, and his face is almost 50% thick as Uchiha Madara. Chapter 180 Merlin, you guys have no loyalty. You big villains are really bad, so strong. You have to protect them. Liuha hummed softly, that's right. Aqua claims that the heaven is the righteous side, so she regards the demons in hell as the villains. Even the very rational and intelligent Eris had the same thoughts as Aqua Point, but they didn't think about it at all. If hell didn't exist, would the heaven still exist? Without the threat of demons, does the world still need to believe in goddesses? In the drama I watched, the main villain was killed by the protagonist. Isn't he weak? Orochimaru is a genius, and it is not too simple to refute Liuhua's argument point. However, although this statement is sophistry, the problem is worth pondering by all the bigwigs. Why is the villain always the one that gets killed? God is too partial to the protagonist point. Chen and Eris knew the answer, but they didn't want to make it public point. In fact, Guanjian is still lucky. The son of luck has the luck of God's blessing point. Maybe Aizen, a genius-minded big boss, has already guessed this, but he won't say it point. If other people can think of it, they can think of it, and if they don't, they will hate it for the rest of their lives. About half an hour later, Chen said, you have almost watched the memory video. Let's start the Saitama voting, and the result, unanimously approved. Whether Muta Game, King, Rocker are on the protagonist side, Aizen, Uchiha Madara, Orochimaru's villain side, or Whitebird, Enel's chaotic neutral side, all agree to come down point. Even Grey Wolf, who was held by his wife, voted for Saitama. I didn't expect you to recognize me so much. Although I don't like to go online, it doesn't matter if I join you. Saitama touched his bald head and was rarely embarrassed point. Although he didn't understand what a superdimensional internet cafe is, he felt very novel, and the most important thing was to surf the internet for free point. Before his family came to Kinas, there was no internet, mainly because Saitama was poor and lived very poor, and I didn't expect these demons and gods to recognize him so much and let him join them. Although Saitama doesn't know the ability of internet cafes yet, he also knows that there are many benefits to joining them point. To be honest, Saitama, who was unknown and lonely for so many years, was suddenly recognized by so many great people, and he was still a little moved. Don't get me wrong, we all joined through you, not because of your character or something. Uchiha Madara said somewhat proudly point. The truth, there is only one reason. Aizen said lightly, you're too strong. Orochimaru sighed. He rarely praised a person's strength so much. People like you should not be enemies. Magneto said solemnly, but if you join an internet cafe, you won't be able to hurt us in the future. Dr. Kenneth said with a smile point. At this moment, Saitama, who was a little moved, just wanted to roar. Also Leos is moved. The second personal selection has been decided, and there is only one place left. I will not talk about the Wolf of the Gods. I clicked on his information and found that it was not the god-killing wolf Fenris in Norse mythology, but the Wolf of the Gods. The god tester, Marquis Vauban, directly rejected it. Chen rejected the opportunity of Marquis Vauban to counterattack with such a vote point. After all, Marquis Vauban had a holiday with Luo Liang, so Chen of course helped Luo Liang point. Of course, the Marquis of Vauban is not without the opportunity to join the Superdimension Internet Cafe. Depending on his luck point, membership voting is an additional quota, which will be refreshed from time to time, and normal Internet Cafe members are completely random. Chen can't predict. Marquis can come in if he is lucky point. However, at present, there are only 2 or 3 normal places left for internet cafes. Unless the activity is increased to 50,000 or the internet cafes are upgraded again, it is difficult to increase the number of internet cafe members except for the voting mode. Then the strongest Medusa and Bunny Girl Senpai are left. Alice raised her eyebrows and said, always feeling that these two women are a great threat. Luoz, Aqua and Xia Shizi and Yan Lingji and the internet. Café also felt the same way. I voted Medusa. Athena voted without watching the video. She has to prove that she is the strongest Medusa goddess, so the strongest Medusa has to enter the internet cafe to compete with her. I agree with Goddess Athena. No matter how you look at it, Bunny Girl is a daily character. There is no choice. Merlin murmured, are you looking down on the everyday world? Liuhua snorted, HMPH. This time, Eris and I support Liuhua source. Aqua directly Liuhua. Eris. She doesn't seem to express her opinion. The poisonous tongue is not my fault. Xia Shizi, Medidapig Trotter, have you always looked down on us? At this time, in the internet cafe, Xia Shizi and the others also sent messages to Merlin's private chat window. Golden Retriever, Eri Lee, how do you know that people are the everyday world? Sage Hui. The daily world is not necessarily useless. There may also be bounty tasks and traverser tasks in the daily world. Medidazi, Kala Lala, Merlin, the great sage, don't underestimate the power of the daily routine. The routine can heal people's hearts. Whitebird decisively chose to stand on Liuhua's side this time, said. Why? Because everyday girls in internet cafes like to call him dad, and he regards them as his own girls, and he must help girls. Whitebird is just so short. Whitebird, you were actually bought by a few old dads. Merlin didn't expect Whitebird to be such a whitebird. Isn't it true that the stronger the members of the internet cafe, the better? What about you, Aizen? You should support me. As a last resort, Merlin looked at Aizen and the others with a look of help. However, this time, Aizen, Uchiha Madara, Magneto, and Orochimaru were all silent and did not speak for Merlin. Although they agreed with Merlin's opinion, the girls in the internet cafe could not afford to offend them. No one can stand at zero flowers, especially the poisonous girl who sells poetry. Tony has been told by her about autism several times before. They are not stupid, and Merlin should do this kind of thankless thing. Merlin looked at Aizen and the others with disappointment and cursed in his heart. You guys are unethical. Actually, the bunny girl senpai is not necessarily a daily fan. You should watch the 2 memory videos first, and then make a decision. Chen smiled, and first uploaded the memory video of the strongest Medusa. This is a PV video of only a few tens of seconds in the memory video titled Breaking the Sky Special Chapter, the Tide Song of Ursha. Here Queen Medusa makes a stunning appearance. This is a woman who makes the goddess feel cold and glamorous. In the video, she is the queen of the snake tribe, and the palaces of a tribe are so magnificent. Which reminds Luoheo of the fantasy world. Chen said zero, and at that time, the strong were respected, the weak were the strong, and there was no justice, fairness, and morality. Queen Medusa's long-cherished wish was to protect her clan. And her stunning appearance in just a few seconds, with just a few words of the sound of nature, can make the men in the world fall for it, making Luoheo, Athena, Aqua, and Eris all sink. This is a formidable competitor. My concubine has changed my mind. I vote for senior bunny girl. Athena changed her mind after watching the first video, blushing and panting, as if she hadn't mentioned voting for Queen Medusa just now. Brother, I also vote for senior bunny girl. I can't look down on the commoners. Luo Liang said with a generous look. Achin, I think senior bunny girl is pretty good. Aqua smiled innocently and romantically. What senior Aqua said is. Eris nodded. Me, Xia Shizi, Yan Lingji, and the others are also selected bunny girls. Liuhua said on behalf of the girls in the internet cafe. Acids, Urza, and Alice all nodded. Half of the members chose bunny girl senpai, and the remaining Whitebird and Enel were obviously from Liuhua and the others. With more than half of the votes, it was undoubtedly bunny girl senpai who won. Chen can only say, well, since you insist, I declare that the last place is Bunny Girl's senior sister. I can't figure out why they are in such a hurry to eliminate Queen Medusa. That is the only fantasy world that internet cafes are currently connected to. Point. But it doesn't matter. There are still plenty of opportunities in the future. Point. After the announcement of the result, the system prompt sound followed. Point. Ding. Bunny Girl Senpai. May Sakurajima, log into the Superdimension Internet Cafe. PS. Youth pig-headed boys don't dream of Bunny Girl Senior Sister is a daily drama with some magical element and an awesome plot. It's really nice. F chapter 181. Is this really a daily world? Mengson is logged in. Let's go back to the internet cafe. After hearing the system prompt, Chen said, Achin, okay, brother, Aqua, LUO, and the others were all smiling because the Queen Medusa was temporarily blocked from logging into the internet cafe. Point. Although they don't know, those who are not selected this time are likely to be refreshed next time. Point. In this world, things that you don't want to happen often happen more often. At that time, they are probably too embarrassed to reject a person twice. Point. That's clearly what it's for. And at the moment of Chen's return, Astes and Yan Lingji in the internet cafe even had their eyes flashed, secretly saying that they must seize the opportunity tonight. It's gone. Genis hasn't thawed yet. Point. Seeing the people around him disappear one by one, Saitama suddenly became anxious, and there was no way he could save Genis, who was sealed in the iceberg. Saitama-kun, let's also go back to the superdimensional internet cafe and want to unlock Genesis freeze. 067. You can buy a low-level magic thawing technique or an intermediate level magic sunshine cure. King walked up to Saitama and spoke to him, but I don't know magic. Saitama touched his bald head and said, you don't need to know. You can become a master after purchasing. Even a pig can learn it. King explained, that's amazing. Saitama's indifferent eyes became very bright, which was really interesting. It's so magical. King nodded and said that the Superdimension Internet Cafe is indeed a great and magical place. Point. In fact, King is already very strong for ordinary people now. In the dungeon, he was transferred from shins to a gunnery, and he can use any heavy weapons. There are also disadvantages. King is an otaku and can play games, but he doesn't have the strength to use such a strong firearm. Furthermore, he has no equipment in the game, so he can't use his skills. That's fine. Just go back to the Superdimension Internet Cafe. Saitama said, huh? King was extremely surprised. Why did Saitama refuse? I'm already strong enough. If I learn such a powerful technique easily, I will have no opponent in the future. Saitama said with a very serious expression. Point. He is not pretending, but expressing his inner anxiety. Saitama-kun, what you said is really shocking, but don't forget the leader, and in the trial duel just now, you were asked to turn around. King lightly explained the fact that if Saitama is empty with force, unless you reach the level of blasting the universe with one punch, you will never be able to threaten the big guys of Aizen in your life. Point. After a pause, King said again, and if you want an opponent, then come to an internet cafe to play online games. In the balanced park field, I promise to satisfy you. Having said that, King also smiled very proudly. In reality, he can't beat Saitama, and he can't beat Saitama in the free park field, but in the balanced park field in the game, his current record is first win, except for the leader who has never played against him. Other players are not his opponents, including Muta Games, Enel, Whitebird and others, all of whom are his defeats. This is also one of the reasons why Whitebird and the others have always believed that King has terrifying power in reality. Point. If you only talk about the game, King is indeed called the strongest man on the surface. Go. Let's go back to the internet cafe. Saitama looked at King with such a proud face, as if he was satisfied with his expression. Point. He is also a person who likes to play games, and since he became stronger, he has never lost to anyone in games, although he didn't expect that in the next few hours. He had the worst nightmare of his life in the game. King became Saitama's lifelong invincible opponent, only in terms of games, and that's all for later. At this moment, a simple and blurred incident happened in the Superdimension Internet Cafe. Point. So much so that after the bald-headed devil and King came back, they didn't go to watch the intense park in the online game dungeon. Point. This thing is Mengxin is gone. In the future, you said that you have never seen Mengxin. Luoheo frowned. Hey, Sister Lion, I really haven't seen Mengxin. Hatsune Miku nodded. No, is she offline? As soon as she came in? Eris guessed. Impossible. I have been in the internet cafe, and I haven't seen anyone come in. Even if it flashes by, I can't hide my perception. Yanlingji said point under Luoki's training. Her strength has progressed rapidly, and anyone who enters the superdimensional internet cafe is static for a moment, often with a dazzling light. This incident is too weird. Enel was a little creepy. That bunny girl senpai isn't a ghost, isn't it? Aizen pushed his glasses and analyzed. You are Shinigami, can't you see ghosts yet? Uchiha pouted. I'm not sure if I can't see it. Aizen said point really it's weird. With our strength, it's impossible for us to hide any invisibility from us. Merlin frowned. Seeing and seeing are useless. My seeing and hearing can sense people's hearts. Whitebird said point magnetic fields doesn't work either. Magneto said, the electrons are stable all around, and there is no trace of anyone. Misako Makoto is also convinced that the electromagnetic field cannot detect each other. Everyone you mean, she's not here? Aris asked point the most critical question now is whether Mengxin is in an internet cafe or not. If it is not, it can't be detected with any ability. If it can't be detected here, it will be a big problem. After all, if she didn't show up, it might be a plot or something. However, at this time Athena said very confidently, the wisdom of my concubine tells me that she is here. No way. Liuha, Waste Shizzy, eyeing Lily, Sage Hui and the others suddenly felt a little scared. This is too supernatural. Achin. Aqua hugged Chen tightly and pressed her body close to him. Seeing this, Liuhua and the others rolled their eyes. This goddess was not as brave as them. Master Team Leader, is this bunny girl senpai from the everyday world? Whitebird asked suspiciously at this time, are all the senior sisters in the everyday world so good? Enel complained. Hearing this, Shizzy and eyeing Lily looked at each other and thought that they might be fake everyday senior sisters. Haha, whoever said that there is no special ability in the Daily Show? You will know the upper limit of the force value of the Daily Show after watching the memory video The Disaster of Camus' Ironman. In fact, Athena is right. The internet cafe shows that she is logged in the state. She has already entered the internet cafe. At this time, Yi Chen said with a chuckle. Team Leader, sir, can you see her? Tell me earlier. Merlin was a little speechless. Even he was a little panicked just now. In an absolutely safe place like a superdimensional internet cafe, he couldn't perceive that bunny girl senior sister, which was beyond his rationale. The unknown is always the scariest. Actually, I didn't see her. I just know where she is now and what she's doing. At this time, Yi Chen said lightly, no way, she's invincible? Merlin couldn't believe it. In his opinion, the leader of the group was invincible in an internet cafe. How could he not see anyone? She's not invincible, it's just that she's doing some private things right now. But apart from me, even if she's standing in front of you, you can't see her. Yi Chen smiled slightly. A personal matter? Merlin didn't understand what Yi Chen meant. However, Liuhua, Shizzy, eyeing Lily, and Shengren Hui understood it in seconds and gave Yi Chen a blank look. Athena and Luoheo stared at Yi Chen strangely, making people feel a little hairy. Yi Chen spread his hands innocently. I can't blame it. Chapter 180 To the Power of the World. Textbooks are all lies. What's a private matter? Can you talk about it, Mr. Leader? Merlin asked with interest. Medapig's Trotter, do you need to clean up? Shizzy glared at him. Luozi, Athena, Acids, Urza, Liuha, eyeing Lily, Alice and other girls all stared at him. What are you doing? Merlin is innocent, and he is pulling hatred again. Achin, what is that bunny girl senpai doing? Aqua also asked curiously. Liuha and the others were speechless. A girl knows that private matters are inconvenient. It's nothing. She came out after more than 10 minutes. Yi Chen saw the color and sensed it, and his eyes lit up. It's no wonder that so many people in his previous life, like the bunny girl senpai Meishime, who was not only beautiful, but also slender, graceful, and pleasing to the eye. Brother. Luoheo said in annoyance when he saw that Chen was actually perceiving him directly. Oni-chan. Hatsune Miku said angrily, Guanjin that I can't answer your questions without my perception. Chen said confidently 20.Luoz. Athena and other women all rolled their eyes, as if he was looking at it to answer Aqua's question point. If it was said that my brother was not selfish, they would not believe it. Suddenly I envy that senior. Aang Riri murmured, oh, my Aang Lily has grown up too. Zashizzy teased after hearing the words, I don't have it. Yin Lila's face flushed immediately, as if she had exposed something. Actually, I'm also quite envious of senior sister. As soon as she came in, she received the attention of all the members. Sage Hui said lightly, and added in her heart, the most enviable thing is that she has received the attention of the leader of the group. And her words suddenly diverted everyone's attention, and she also made a relief for Aang Lily. By the way, Sage Hui is considerate and resourceful. No wonder it has the title of Hui. But what she said was recognized by Aestus Jian, Alice, and the others. This bunny girl senpai is really enviable. At this time, Aizen asked very curiously, Master, can you explain the abilities of that bunny girl senpai? Hearing that, Uchiha Madara, Merlin, Whitebird, Magneto, and other bigwigs all watched, and they were all very curious about what kind of abilities those senior sisters had, and only the leader of the group could see her. Actually Chen didn't sell anything and said lightly, it's not her ability, but the power of the world that has weakened her power of existence. The power of the world. At this moment, Orochimaru, Dr. Kenneth, and Shinono Bundle were all curious. They saw the supreme law in the video of the world mission of the magical forbidden universe. But the power of the world is a novel word. What is the difference between the power of the world and the power of the law? Because of the court of life, our net members are immune to the influence of the supreme law. Even the supreme law can be exempted, but can't detect the power of the world. Aizen raised his eyebrows and asked, could it be that the power of the world is still above the supreme law? Chen thought for a while and said, the law is a part of the world, so do you understand? Cough. Aizen, Shino's Bundle, Orochimaru, and Dr. Kenneth suddenly realized. Luoheo, Athena, and Eris all nodded. The power of the world is all-encompassing, and they are still far from understanding the power of the world. Even if Liuhua and Shizzy probably understand a little bit, it is the power of the world that is more powerful. Achin, I don't understand. What is the power of the world? What is the power of existence? Aqua muttered. You just need to know that your strength is not enough at present, and you can't detect senior bunny girl. Chen touched Aqua's head and smiled dotingly. That's too simple. It's easy to understand. Aqua smiled happily and smugly glanced at the geniuses like Aizen, Orochimaru, and Shinobuno. Hahaha, it seems that she is still very smart, just a little bit. Well, anyway, those scientists in Aizen are stupid, and simple problems are complicated. We seem to have been sacked by a mentally handicapped group. Orochimaru's face was covered with black lines, feeling that his IQ was insulted. Calm down, just get used to it. Aizen said lightly, Akuya-chan is very cute, isn't it? Shinobuno mind doesn't mind, just feel cute. I'm really curious about the brain structure of this goddess. Dr. Kenneth secretly said, if Aqua would let him study her brain, it would be great, but unfortunately he just thought about it, not to mention whether Aqua agrees or not. The leader of the group alone can't pass the test, then what kind of world power is this, and why does it eliminate her power of existence? At this time, Aizen continued to ask. The power of the world is very complicated, and it is estimated that the leader of the group can't explain it clearly, but it makes a person exist and disappear, so that the strong can't detect it. What kind of power is this? This manifestation of world power, which is different from traditional supernatural abilities, is called adolescence syndrome. Chen revealed the answer. Puberty syndrome. For a moment, Alice, Kasumi Shiko, Aang Lily, Sage Megumi, and Rocker were all stunned. Master Team Leader, we have high school degrees anyway, don't tease me. Zashizzy complained. Most of Liuhua and the others also think like this. Brother, what 067 is adolescence syndrome? Is it very powerful? Luoheo asked Liuhua and the others curiously, because she was a 10,000 years house girl and had almost no contact with modern civilization, so she didn't know this. What is a disease? Hey, this is a legendary disease, and the clinical effect is, it makes people lose their sense of existence. Parents, relatives, and friends forget about her, and the world evaporates. It can divide people into two, both of which are real bodies. It can be reset infinitely. Time, like an infinite roll of dice, only chooses the future you want. It can also affect parallel worlds and create different fate lines. After a pause, Chen said, Sakurajima May is suffering from this kind of disease, so her sense of existence will disappear. Now she is only occasionally invisible, and after a long time, everyone will see her and forget her. After everyone forgets her, her existence will be erased, and people all over the world, whether you know her or not, will no longer find a trace of her and related memories, which is equivalent to that she has never been in this world. Also, this disease is based on the power of the world, and the impact is world class. Simply put, unless you can counteract the power of the world, you cannot forcibly crack this disease. Liuhua and the others are all stunned. Is this really the adolescent syndrome they know? Textbooks are all lies. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 183 Magneto. Today's young people are so scary. Master Team Leader, aren't you talking nonsense in a serious manner? Shizi asked repeatedly, do I need to pit you? Chen spread his hands. It seems that our puberty syndrome is different. Yingra's mouth twitched. Yeah, I thought it was due to poor mental state, mental atrophy, memory loss, sadness, fear, low self-esteem, rebellion, truancy, and self-abuse. These are called adolescent syndrome. Sage Hui murmured. During the period from junior high school to high school, most people have more or less symptoms of puberty syndrome. It just depends on the degree. When you talk about two diseases, do you use one disease? Luoheo is a little confused, and there is a big gap in the performance of these two puberty syndromes one day and one place. The wisdom of the concubine tells me that the contradictions stem from the differences in the world. Athena had completely rationalized the situation at this time. I can upload some video clips of memory now, and you'll understand. After all, Chen uploaded the memory videos of his senior sister Mai Sakurajima, his classmate Leo Futaba, and his junior sister Kogatomo in the internet cafe. Then, Whitebird Aizen and the others fully understood the influence of this disease. In the chapter of Mai Sakurajima, the horror of this kind of diseases. Still not seen. When I went to the junior girl Kogatome, the world has been remade countless times. Only when the junior girl wants out of the future will the world develop normally. If they didn't know about this disease, they would all be God. Because of Kogapengi. This ability completely surprised them. They may be able to destroy the world, but they may not be able to remake the world and let them cultivate for thousands of years. The reason why Guhepeng acquired this ability was simply to reject a senior's confession. But Harum admired that senior and regarded him as an idol. She was afraid that, after rejecting the senior, me would alienate her, because Guhepeng rejected the room's idol, too ignorant to praise. Just because of this little thing, and the logical thinking, is really scary. Guhepeng, whose rejection of that senior is a good thing for her, but she still has to worry about her alienation. This kind of plastic sister doesn't matter. She is worried about an egg. Kalalala, a little thing has caused the world to be remade countless times. I really don't understand these young people. Whitebird suddenly felt old and couldn't understand the world of young people. Don't talk about you. I feel like I'm getting old. Magneto twitched his face fiercely. The young people in that world were so terrifying, and a little youthful ailment actually affected the world. Lord Team Leader, I'm curious, how did they mobilize the power of the world, and why are all the girls who get sick? Zio's Hishu narrowed his eyes, flashing a wise light. Could it be that the creator god of that world is a woman? This question, it's useless for you to ask me. I haven't been to her world. Chen said, "It's a pity. People's psychological age is earlier than puberty. Otherwise I would go to that world and try to see if I can get sick." Zyos he said with a smile, "You also know that your mental age is beyond puberty and you still act cute all day." Chen complained, "Because I like it, Tatsu-chan." Naoki stuck out his tongue and smiled playfully. "Unfortunately, the team leader doesn't know the principle and can't study it." Dr. Kinnis regretted, who said it wasn't. Orochimaru said regretfully, "The power of the world, if only I could get it." Aizen pushed his glasses and flashed all the light, "And I don't know if Gyoku has evolved to ultimate and can comprehend the power of the world point. If the Spirit King can create the world, he should have realized some world power. Sage of Six Paths created the moon, but that doesn't count as creating the world." Uchiha Madara's heart is a little heavy. This powerful and difficult to comprehend power he does not control. Always feel a little uneasy. I didn't know it before, but now I know it. It's impossible to remain indifferent. I think you are all too far away. You don't even comprehend the supreme law of your own world, and you still want to control the power of the world," said Shishi bluntly. Forehead. Aizen, Uchiha Madara, Orochimaru, and Kinnis were stunned. This is really the truth point. They are so far away that only Mei-senpai's illness will make her disappear. Then everyone can't see her and can't help her. Isn't she very dangerous? Hatsune Miku thought that Mei-senpai might disappear eventually and couldn't help worrying about her. Hatsune Miku is such a kind and lovely person when everyone is thinking about the power of the world. She is thinking about how to save people. And this problem is indeed very difficult, which made Zyos and Aizen stunned for a while. They don't understand the power of the world, and they have no way to rescue Mei-shishima. "Do not worry." Chen held Hatsune Miku's cute little pigtails, looked at the void of the internet cafe, and said, "Dangerous. If she doesn't enter the superdimensional internet cafe, she really needs someone else to untie her, not in order to get rid of it." Symptoms, but much simpler now. In the void, an invisible senior sister was shocked and looked at Chen expectantly. In the internet cafe, no one can see her except Chen. At this time, Hatsune Miku blinked her shining eyes and said curiously, "What is the best way for Oni-chan? Just tell me quickly. I really want to see that Mei-senpai. If there is a way, we will talk about it later." "Do you really miss Mei-senpai? In the future, you haven't gone to school yet." Chen found out that Hatsune Miku likes to chat with students such as Zashizi and Ryuha, and Hatsune Miku only formed life when he appeared in the internet cafe. He stayed in the internet cafe all day. "It's boring too. Should I send Hatsune Miku to high school and start a Hatsune Idol club by the way? That way not only can she have a good time, but she can also gather faith. And the world where Bunny Girl Senpai lives is very special, and there may be special games in the future. It is enough to have sisters to accompany you here." Hatsune Miku knew that Chen had a lot of things, and the main world was turbulent, so he never complained. However, she still wants to go to school in her heart, and it is best to meet a group of like-minded sweethearts, start a band or something. "Well, after 3 days to resolve the second Tianyuan mutation, I will take you to transfer to the world where Mei-senpai lives." Chen pondered. "Really, Oni-chan?" Hatsune Miku said happily, "Of course it's true." Chen said with a smile, "I like you the most." Hatsune Miku hugged Chen and kissed her fiercely, and then found that Athena and Luo Yang were looking at her in astonishment. "Brother, the future is still young." Luo sniffed lightly. "I know." Chen was stunned for a moment. At this moment, he didn't understand why Luo emphasized this point. It was because of her small future that she let her go to study and enjoy campus life. Luo rolled his eyes, not knowing if his brother was really confused or pretending to be confused. But she didn't want to get to the bottom of it. She just got down to business and asked, "Brother, what are you talking about? That bunny girl senior sister has already come out, so don't give up." Hearing this, Mei Sakurajima was a little nervous. She heard the conversation just now, and she knew how amazing the superdimensional internet cafe is, so she was looking forward to Chen to help her solve this trouble. Well, she came out. In fact, the solution is very simple. Let her recharge the power of adolescence syndrome to the internet cafe. It's fine. Chen looked at Mei Sakurajima and smiled. The power of the world is added to her body. It belongs to her power, so it can be recharged. Forehead. For a moment, Luoz, Athena, and Aizen were all stunned. The idea of the leader of the group is really a miracle. P.S. This is the 8th update yesterday. Today's update starts at 11 o'clock. It's almost New Year's Day recently. There are a lot of things. The author has been adjusting the biological clock, so the update time is a little confusing. Chapter 184. The main world plot task. Chen, your idea is awesome. Aqua hugged Chen's hand and praised. As expected of her. Chen, she's great. Even Aqua knew that this idea was brilliant, so she was impeccable, as expected of my elder brother. Luoheo held Chen's other hand and said proudly, the wisdom of the concubine tells me that this is the best choice. This time, Athena hugged Chen directly behind him, declaring that she has a place for Chen. Seeing Chen surrounded by all the beauty, Astes and Yan Lingji both had their eyes gleaming, feeling that they would have no chance if they didn't make a move. Alice, Liuhua and the others are indifferent. After all, no one can beat these three goddesses. By the way, now that you know the method, why hasn't Bunny Girl Senpai appeared yet? Eris, the careful goddess of luck, asked. Sorry, everyone, I just figured out the top-up system at this moment. A crisp sound like a singer, as well as the mechanical sound of the system, came from my ears. Ding. The system prompts. Mei Sakurajima recharges the power of the world and gets 4,500 membership points in an instant. All the members of the internet cafe found Sakurajima 070 Mei and found that she was standing next to the seat to the left of Shizzy. And Mei Sakurajima is dressed in a black bunny girl, very beautiful and graceful. No wonder she is called Bunny Girl Senpai. However, Shizzy and the others will be amazed by her appearance. She is so beautiful, she perfectly shows her figure, which makes women jealous, in particular Shinanoki, who likes to wear rabbit-made costumes. If it weren't for the crowd, she would definitely lean over to hug Mei Sakurajima and share their experience with each other's costumes and Aizen. And their focus is not how beautiful Sakurajima Mei is, but that she really doesn't have any special abilities, just an ordinary person. It's a completely ordinary person. It's a magical world. I don't know if we will suffer from puberty syndrome, Aizen said with some anticipation. Orochimaru and Dr. Kinus nodded. Although the probability was low, it was not impossible. All of you big villains are all human beings, old fritters, and you want to suffer from puberty syndrome. Even if it is impossible for you to rejuvenate, your psychology has already become rotten. Shizzy complained mercilessly. Aizen and the others were silent for a while, and their hope was mercilessly shattered in an instant. Actually, I don't think this disease is good. Cat, Mei Sakurajima raised her hand gently to speak. Why is it not good? The power of the world is so precious. It will directly let you get 4,500 member points. Liuhua said with some envy. Yeah, with 4,500 member points, you can say that she is the fastest rising newcomer. Alice doesn't even have 1,000 member points now. If possible, I would like to suffer from this disease. Shizzy said. Eri nodded, rarely agreeing with Kasumi Shiko's idea. I'm also very envious. Saint Hui said frankly. However, at this time, Mei Sakurajima said bluntly, if there is no internet cafe as the backing, would you still envy me? Forehead. All of a sudden, the girls who envied Mei Sakurajima fell silent. To be honest, if there is no superdimensional internet cafe, the only hero who can rescue Mei Sakurajima is the hero in her world, and she only met her by chance. If she didn't meet her, she would disappear without a trace. Nobody knows death. Moreover, before the temporary call, Chen should not be called to Earth to be dead, and there was no one around, and it was scary to think about it. More terrible than death is loneliness. That taste is really uncomfortable. Kula la la. This newcomer speaks directly. When Whitebird saw Mei Sakurajima beat Shizzy and the others verbally, he burst into laughter. Mei Senpai is a relatively straightforward person. Chen chuckled lightly. Her speech is not as vicious as Shizzy, but because it is too real and does not hide it at all, it can be regarded as an alternative coquettish talk. For example, Chen is her boyfriend. Ask her, do you mind if I date other girls? Sakurajima Mei will calmly say, I don't mind. Yi Chen, why? Mei Sakurajima, why should I care about people who have nothing to do with me? Yi Chen, I was wrong. Miss May. This is a standard response to talking to her, and her answers are generally unexpected and completely instinctive, which is what many people like about her. Straightforward girls are also very cute. Mei-chan. Shino no Shao doesn't like people who are mean-spirited, so his favorability to Laojima Mei directly increases. Thank you for your compliment, Sister Xiaozi. Mei Sakurajima nodded politely, then bowed to Yi Chen and said, thank you very much, Master. You're welcome. Yi Chen waved his hand lightly and said, no, if possible, I hope to repay you. Mei Yushima said very seriously, to bear such a great kindness, if nothing happened, she would really feel at ease. I really want to repay, can I live at your house? Yi Chen was looking forward to how Mei Sakurajima would react, so he deliberately joked. For a moment, Luo Liang, Aqua, and Athena all felt that their heads were green. However, it is expected that this newcomer will not agree. However, no problem. My bedroom is very big. Mei Sakurajima agreed without the slightest hesitation, and answered quickly, don't you think about it anymore? Yi Chen asked suspiciously, no need, there are 4 guests in your bedroom. You definitely won't have a place to sleep tonight. If you can repay your kindness by staying overnight, that would be the best. Mei Sakurajima smiled slightly. When she borrowed the bathroom here just now, she found Xia, Tangyan, Yiling Meng, and Mengfei. She knew that Yi Chen could only sleep with his sister Hatsune Miku tonight, so she didn't refuse. Well, you are really a careful girl, then I'll be welcome. Since Mei Sakurajima doesn't refuse, Yi Chen will spend the night there for a few days, and experience the magic of that world. By the way, elder brother, Achan, Luo, Aqua, and Athena were suddenly unhappy. You can follow me, if you don't worry. Yi Chen said. Luo straightened her eyebrows, and finally decided that she couldn't pass it, mainly because she had nothing to worry about. If it was the same as in the past, it would be like monitoring Yi Chen. And when she didn't go, she also pulled Aqua and Athena away, preventing them from passing together. Well, everyone, go back and prepare early. The second Tianyuan mutation is less than 3 days away, and maybe there will be tasks at that time. Yi Chen looked at the time. It was already night, and it was less than 64 hours before the outbreak of the Tianyuan mutation. And just as Yi Chen said this, the system prompt sounded. Ding. In 64 hours, the big event second Tianyuan mutation will be launched, and the main world choose one story task will be released. Option 1. Ragnarok of the gods and demons rise together. Option 2. The heavens come, the golden world. Chapter 185. Your choice determines the future of the world. A choice between 2 tasks? Yi Chen frowned. It was the first time that such a selective route had appeared. Team leader, my lord, is there a fork in the fate line of your main world? Aizen asked curiously. In fact, in a strict sense, every world has a fate line, and different choices will lead to different futures. Eris said. As a fate pantheon, she still knows a lot about fate line and parallel worlds. The first option is Ragnarok, gods and demons rise together. This option means to kill the gods, and then the world will become a flurry of immortals and demons. Uchiha analyzed. Hearing that, Aqua and Eris are slightly in love with each other. If Achan's main world fairy dances, it may not be a good thing for the common people. What about the second option? When the heavens come, how does the golden world understand it? Merlin asked. Kalalala, the golden world. It sounds like a world of great competition, even more magnificent than the era of the great pirates. Whitebird said with a smile. A world of great contention. Interesting. Magneto said, the world of great contention is not a good thing for the common people, but there is no choice. Aris felt that both options were not good, but it also proved that the world where the ruler lived was destined to have this team. Brother, which one are you going to choose? Luo said, only from personal grievances. I should choose the first one to destroy the gods. Yi Chen dragged his chin and muttered point. Because Vulcan united several gods and planned to cut off Jiangnan City, he had to kill Vulcan point, and the first option should be within the predictions of Meng Fear and Xia, and the second option may be beyond their intelligence point. But intuition tells Yi Chen that the second option is more interesting and more beneficial to his future development. Actually, no matter which one the master chooses, the gods of the fire god will definitely be killed. The only difference is that they don't want to destroy all the gods, but not all of the gods are enemies of the master. Even if they can't win over, they can be let live to share the pressure of the golden age on the world. At this time, assets analyzed from a strategic level, and the combination of gods and demons shows that the gods will not be destroyed in this mission. As a reminded, then choose the second one. Yi Chen immediately made up his mind and chose the second task. Ding. The master chooses the main world plot task 2 and chooses success. Units gone. Yi Chen was slightly stunned. There is no prompt. After selecting the task, there is no task reward. Is there a limit on the number of people and conditions? So what's the point of posting tasks now? My concubine's wisdom tells me that there is a reason for the quest to be released in advance. Athena said lightly. How to say? Yi Chen asked. Your choice determines the future of the world. So from now on, the future of the world has changed, and the task should be readjusted. Athena said. That is to say, the choice of the original mission is option 1 by default. Yi Chen was slightly stunned. Because of his personality, he did choose task 1, but assets analysis made him change his mind. It should be. Athena said. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll know when the time comes anyway. After finishing speaking, Yi Chen asked Mei Sakurajima to wait for her at the internet cafe for a while, and he wanted to enter the bedroom and explain to Yi Meng. Brother Yi Chen, what are you doing outside? You haven't come to see people all afternoon. As soon as Yi Chen entered the bedroom, Yi Meng pouted and stared at him. I can't help it. My brother's status is special, and I have to be busy with many things. Yi Chen spread his hands and said, then what's your identity? Yi Meng snorted point. She didn't believe how busy Yi Chen could be point. It's just her question. But it was Meng Fear, Tang Yan, and Xia in the room who all pricked up their ears. They were very curious about Yi Chen's identity and the superdimensional religion. Yi Chen looked at Menja and the others who pretended to be absent-minded, but their hearts were full of curiosity and couldn't help laughing. Don't prick up your ears. I can tell you that the supreme commander of the superdimensional religion in this world is me. Break. Even if there is speculation in their hearts, Menja and the others still gasped. More shocking than the god of destruction had to listen to Yi Chen. Brother. You are God. Yi Meng looked at Yi Chen with unfamiliar eyes, but fortunately, she touched Yi Chen's face with her little hand, and she still felt the warmth from the beginning. Otherwise she would have thought that her brother had changed. In any case, I'm your brother. Yi Chen touched Yi Meng's head and smiled gently. Yi Meng blushed and nodded. Meng Fei looked slightly envious. After all, Yi Chen was her future lover at this moment. Yi Chen looked at Xia and the others and said, speaking of which, Xia, when did you guys come in? Xia, didn't I tell you to stand by outside? Young master, this is the order of the Empress. She asked my mother to stay by the sun's side for the past few days. There will be a major incident recently. It was your god sister who let us in. Xia replied immediately. Late. She also felt something. It seems that there is no need to worry about her. Yi Chen nodded. His Empress aunt was not simple. She knew the information that only the gods knew. Then you stay here for 3 days. Cultivate well, and I will let the goddess give you some pointers. Yi Chen thought about it. Anyway, Luo Liang, Athena, Eris, and Aqua are also idle, so let them give them some pointers. And Yi Chen also has a mission these days. He has now obtained the Pluton divine body, but he has not yet adapted to this power. If he goes back to the world of the gods, it is very likely that Pluton Hades will be summoned. The god King Hades of the world of the crowned gods is not as good as the Pluton Hades of the holy warriors, but if his divine power crystallizes the Pluton body of Yi Chen, it will definitely be of great benefit. So the world of gods time to go back. But this plan has to start tomorrow. Chen is already a little tired today. In addition to the bedroom door, Chen explained to Luoheo, Athena, Eris, and Aqua, and asked them to point out the 4 girls inside, so as to pass the time for them. After that, Chen gently hugged Mai Sakurajima, and disappeared into the internet cafe, but he didn't see the light flashing in the eyes of Aestes and Yan Lingji. Tonight is a great opportunity. 04 Flowers Bunny Girl Senpai World. Mai Sakurajima's apartment environment is very elegant and clean. Chen directly chose her bedroom, and the bird occupies the dove's nest. Although Mai Sakurajima speaks straightforwardly, she is a very conservative girl, and is not so bold to be in the same room with Chen. It's not that Chen isn't handsome enough, or that he's not good or gentle, but that there are too many girls around him who like him, and Mai Sakurajima doesn't want to have such a complicated relationship. If there are fewer girls around Chen, then she is likely to stay in the bedroom tonight. It was just Mai Sakurajima's behavior that led Chen's maid of ice and fire to enter her bedroom without any obstacles, although her apartment has a barrier set up by Chen. Unless the strength is stronger than Chen, it is impossible to enter silently, but the crossing from the superdimensional internet cafe can sneak in quietly, guarding against day and night. And it is difficult to guard against thieves. You guys, you are willing to earn 2000 member points. Chen really admired them. They really gave it up, but they were still a little moved, and they had done everything for Chen. 0.0 It was Aestes' idea, she said, to celebrate the master's defeat of the bald-headed devil. Yan Lingji threw the pot to Aestes. HMPH. It was obviously an idea we came up with together. Aestes rolled her eyes, and it turned out to be a plastic sister flower, but even if the plan was found out, she still dared to be honest with Chen. She was a queen, and would not back down. Don't worry, I'm not angry. Chen said what they wanted to hear most under the anticipation of their twinkling eyes, and did not drive them away. The next day, when Mai Sakurajima woke up, she went back to her bedroom, and found that Chen had already woken up. She frowned and said, I seem to have heard something last night. No, you heard it wrong. Look at how neat your room is. Chen smiled slightly. Mai Sakurajima glanced at Chen suspiciously, then looked at the room, and praised with a chuckle. I didn't expect Lord Master to be so gentle. The room is more tidy than what I had done yesterday. Chen is a little embarrassed. This was arranged by Yan Lingji and Aestes. In fact, he didn't do anything at all. I have left beforehand, and I have observed your condition. There is no sign of recurrence. It is very likely that a person will only suffer from puberty syndrome once in his life. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at the internet cafe. Before leaving, he said he failed to detect the power of the world last night, because Mai Sakurajima did not relapse, so there is no need to stay here now. etc. Mai Sakurajima suddenly walked up to Chen, tidied up his messy sleeves, and said, don't get me wrong, this is just my repayment to you, understood? Chen was stunned, then nodded and disappeared into her bedroom. And after returning to the superdimensional internet cafe, Chen did not call Shangluo, but entered the world of the gods alone, and the goal only pointed to Greece. Superior Chapter 186 The Battle of Pluton, the strongest god king in mythology. Divinity World Greece. Rumbling at the moment Chen came, the sky and the earth turned pale in an instant, and endless thunder came over the sky. The earth has lost its luster, and the boundless darkness is spreading. All of a sudden, the 5 goddesses, including Madame Elsa, the Black Prince, and Cholton, the King of Swords, and the Marquis of Vauban, were all frightened. It is the god of disobedience. It's terrifying. This kind of divine power is at least the god king who refuses to obey. The trinity of Athena can't be compared. Greece, is it the king of the 3 god tiers? Interesting. I can hone my swordsmanship. GGG. The best prey is born. The 5 god slayers had different attitudes towards the disobedient god kings that appeared in Greece, and the King of Swords and the Marquis of Vauban rushed towards Greece without hesitation. Only this 0 to 70 times. The warlike King of Swords and the Marquis of Vauban are doomed to disappointment. Because the prey this time is not something they can deal with. Very strong power. Want to erode my Pluton body, so that the real body will come? Yi Chen didn't think that his Pluton body would not attract Hades, the god king of disobedience, but the origin of Hades, the deity, who was sleeping, and the underworld point, the god of disobedience, is not the deity. Everyone knows this, because most gods of disobedience will say after being killed, looking forward to the next battle with the god slayer, their deity, that is, the root of the myth, is sleeping in the underworld point because it is a projection in the myth. After the god of disobedience comes to the world, there are various restrictions on his strength and various constraints from the myth point. If the deity comes, the human magician will not have the slightest chance to kill the god point, not to mention a magician, even a demon king who has killed gods, even a demon king who is powerful enough to Aluoheo's level, can't defeat any deity of a disobedient god point according to Yi Chen's estimation. The level of the god slayer and the god of disobedience is about the middle stage of the 6th stage. Athena restores the trinity, takes the potion of the gods, to escape the shackles of the incompetent gods, and understands the realm of the gods. Now she is only worthy of the 6th order great perfection, and she once privately told Yi Chen that she is still inferior to her deity. With the popularity in Athena's mythology, her deity should be in the early stage of the half step, and most of the deities of the gods who do not obey are the 6th order great perfection. The 7th order should not exist, and Pandora, who manages the ritual of the gods, it's still possible point, but the current Yi Chen is in the middle stage of the half step. Unless the deity of the god of disobedience can compete with Yi Chen at the level of the god's Taoist San King Buddha, the rest of the gods are not his opponents at all point. Even if it was Pluton Hades, it was estimated that he was only half a step into the middle stage, and it was really not as good as Yi Chen, who was invincible at the same level. HMPH, it's really good to want to use my divine body as a sacrifice to return to the world, Hades, but unfortunately you're not afraid of breaking your teeth. Yi Chen directly exploded his divine power, competing with the divine power of Pluton Hades in the underworld point. Rumbling. The two divine powers between the heavens and the earth seem to be madly outputting without money. The collision of the two directly shatters the time and space, causing a huge black hole-like energy vortex to appear in the sky over Greece. This breath is the master. China Lushan, Luculasia was horrified. She sensed Yi Chen's breath, but she didn't expect Yi Chen to have another divinity. The divinity of the god king of the underworld. The divinity of the king of the underworld is countless times stronger than that of the god king Mekhl. After all, Hades is a mythical Pluton who is single-minded and strong point, and the god king Mekhl's divinity is too complex. Complex but not refined. Not the more divine the stronger the strength. The real fight. The god king Mekhl is definitely not the opponent of Hades. Even if the war god is added, it is a little overhang. Master, do you need my assistance? Luculasia asked Yi Chen in her heart. One of the 10 powers of the war god, the incarnation of the wind. As long as someone calls him in his heart, he can hear it, and he can reach the identity of that person at any time. This is still limited. Yi Chen has no restrictions on using the power of the war god, and it can be used in reverse. For example, when Luculasia calls him, he calls her over, or without calling, Yi Chen directly puts Luculasia can call over. 8. If Hades, the king of gods, did not come, Yi Chen could handle it alone, but now it is the deity that has come, and with her assistance, the battle will be smoother, and the power of the divine sword can be exerted to the ultimate from the very beginning. Come on. Yi Chen called in his heart, and used his power, Avatar of the Wind, to summon Luculasia on Mount Lu, King. As soon as Luculasia came, she threw herself in Yi Chen, cultivating Yi Chen's breath. Her face flushed red. He secretly said in his heart, at this moment, it is really good that there is no leader Omen and goddess Athena. Just smelling 2 different fragrances, and the strange smell left after the tonic. Luculasia looked at Yi Chen in surprise. What's wrong? Yi Chen asked when Luculasia suddenly stared at him strangely. Wang. Those young girls are really wasting the king's divine power. Luculasia licked her tongue, and said with great regret. That seductive demeanor seemed to say, it would be great if she could also be replaced by Wang Bubu. Cough cough. Yi Chen was stunned. He didn't expect that Lucalasia's sense of smell was so sensitive, and he was bold and straightforward. The lava that was vented up and down the body of the ice and fire twin maid last night was faintly showing signs of eruption. Fool, are you humiliating this king? At this time, in the black hole vortex between the heaven and the earth in the sky, a cold and oppressive voice of scolding spread throughout the heaven and earth. The owner of the voice is from Pluton, Hades. Hades was very angry at this moment, because Yi Chen actually fed dog food in front of him. You must know that Hades is a single dog of 10,000 years, and his only companion is a three-headed dog of hell. As for Empress Wu, there is a saying that Hades and the Queen of Hades are just a couple in name. Contrary to the scumbag Zeus, Hades is ruthless, absolutely fair. There is no so-called love and six desires, it is abstinence. Pluton, Hades and Saint Seiya is such a setting point in Orthodox Greek mythology. Hades and Hades had no children. 3.7 The Greek gods are very fertile, and they can get pregnant almost by doing one job. Zeus sowed all over the world, and a lot of illegitimate children. It is almost impossible to say that Hades and the Queen have no children. And Pluton, Hades of the world of gods, also happens to be single. If you think so, then it's kick. Yi Chen smiled and looked at the phantom of the God King in the black hole vortex, holding Frostmourne, provocatively said, "Patience, dare to fight." Pluton, Hades squinted his eyes and flashed war intent. There can't be two Plutons in this world. There is only one on the throne of the strongest God King in myth, just to my liking. Having said that, Yi Chen took the lead, and Frostmourne erupted with an endless chill of death, slashing towards the black hole vortex. The battle is imminent. Chapter 187 The Pure Land of Bliss, One-Shot Law. At the moment when Yi Chen and Hades started a duel, Russell felt something in the Superdimensional Internet Cafe and immediately questioned Yan Lingji and Astes. The two maids disappeared all night last night. Because Luoheo was pointing at Yi Lingmeng, he didn't pay attention to them. He didn't expect them to come back today full of exhaustion, and with Yi Chen's strong aura on them, he must know where Yi Chen was, and what he was doing. Tell me, where did my brother go? Why hasn't he come back at noon now? In the bedroom of the two maids, Luoheo asked coldly. In front of them, Yan Lingji and Astes, who were kneeling on the mat and tugging at their ears, seemed like children who made mistakes. The master said, "I'm going to clean up Hades today." Yan Lingji replied weakly, "The Lord has obtained the power of Pluton's divine body and needs to adapt to this power." Astes blushed. Because of Yi Chen's supernatural power supplement, she now has divinity, and her eyes is broad to see the power of death. And Yan Lingji obtained the divine nature of the sun and the characteristics of immortal flame. The power Yi Chen gave them would be of great benefit to their 3rd and 5th rank cultivators, saving them decades of practice. The shortcomings are also obvious. That is, Luoheo and Athena can see through the truth at a glance. There is more divinity for no reason, and it overlaps with Yi Chen's divinity. A fool knows 20 things about what happened. Pluton god body, but, brother, this time is a little too big. Luo listened and frowned. Athena next door also appeared in the bedroom, saying, "If he has the Pluton body, the Hades deity in the underworld will come. How can the master's strength be afraid of the other party?" Yan Lingji felt that the master was the strongest in all aspects. "Of course we can rest assured about my brother's strength," Luo Yang said lightly, "but the problem is not whether we can win, but Netherworld said that you don't understand. Wake up the future, and let's see the battle through her." Athena asked Yan Lingji and the others to wake up Hatsune Miku. She and Yi Chen coexisted, and could sense Yi Chen's situation anytime, anywhere. After calling Hatsune Miku, they found that they were worried for nothing, because the battle was over, and Pluton was finally killed by one blow. Godslayer world. Boom, or thousand blades of death. Yi Chen fought with Hades in the black hole vortex, continuously sending out thousands of death chill slashes, tearing apart the Pluton energy balls emitted in the black hole vortex. Cack. The powerful Frostmourne slash of death and cold smashed the energy ball into the black hole vortex, injuring the body of Pluton Hades, leaving a series of ferocious frozen cracks on his skin. Excalibur with the curse of the undead. Haha, it's ridiculous. Hades, who was elegant and dressed in black robes, laughed furiously, and the frozen cracks on his body healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. "Master, the opponent is Pluton. The soul resistance and death resistance are at full level. Your sword will not cause any damage to him." Luculasia saw this scene in her spirit vision and quickly reminded. However, Yi Chen didn't need her reminder. Chen also knew this. It's just that the reason why he used so much energy to attack Hades was to provoke him with Frostmourne on purpose. Hades laughed angrily just now because Chen actually used this kind of sword of the underworld to slash him. Do you really think that his Pluton is a parallel importer? Pluton Excalibur. Under the anger of Hades, he displayed the Pluton armor and summoned his Pluton sword, a Dark Knight sword full of the lore of death, slowly emerging in the black hole vortex. At the moment when the sword of Pluton appeared, the entire Greek nation fell into a deep sleep of death. If the gods of the solar system did not wake them up, they would not be able to sleep. This is the terror of the god of disobedience. Even if nothing is done, the overflowing power alone can destroy a country in seconds. A terrifying power. Chen squinted his eyes, conservatively estimated that Hades' divine power is slightly worse than his current all-stat enhancement, but he also has 90% of his power. This is just the deity of a god who does not obey. If all the gods in the world awakened, it would be terrifying, but the Pluton Sword Festival came out, right in my arms. The corners of Chen's mouth raised slightly, looking at Luculasia. King, I'm ready. Knowing that Chen needed her, Luculasia immediately closed her eyes and offered her red lips. Chen, who has tasted it many times, bit her cherry lips with ease, obtained the knowledge of Pluton in mythology, and instantly pushed the void and god space to ultimate. Under Pluton Hades' frown, he saw a flash of golden light, and the black hole vortex he was in was swallowed up, and he himself was in a space where the power of nothingness and the power of God were mixed. Translucent golden swords appeared all around the world, and Hades felt like a run on his back due to the fierce cold light. Is it the golden sword of that brat of war god Veloslana? Pluton Hades raised his brows. The god-killing sword was one of the nemesis of the gods, and it could make way for a war god who was inferior to the god king, to be side by side with the god king, or even slightly better. However, as the strongest king among the god kings, Hades has not put the sword of God in his eyes. Pure land of bliss. Hades kicked his feet, and a black hole vortex appeared under his feet, eroding this void space. The pure land of bliss? Chen didn't know why, but when he heard these 4 words, he thought of a song and dance video. Luckily Hades didn't have a live performance, otherwise he would have burst out laughing. Are you looking down on me? Pluton Hades said angrily. After he casts the pure land of bliss, he is immortal and immortal. The divine sword can sever his godhead, but the pure land of bliss can repair his godhead. Excalibur is indestructible in the pure land of ultimate bliss, because it is an immortal dark world and a land of bliss. As long as the myths still exist, the underworld will exist, and the underworld will exist in the blissful land. The war god Veloslana is still far from destroying the underworld. No, I'm not looking down on you, but you're dead. Having said that, Chen sacrificed the magic book of truth. Pluton Hades frowned. The Pluton sword in his hand disappeared. Appeared in Chen's hands. Crap. It's Prometheus' secret. Pluton Hades was horrified, and the Pluton sword had the authority of Pluton granted by him, which could control the underworld and control the pure land of bliss. Without the Pluton sword, although Hades can still control the pure land, his control will drop rapidly. Don't forget, Chen not only has the god King Mechal's divinity of the king of hell, but also has the divine body of the holy warrior Pluton, which is stronger than the divine body of Hades in this world. After obtaining the Pluton sword, Chen's control over the pure land has surpassed Hades, completely suppressing Hades' regeneration ability. Die on your own sword, Hades. Chen said coldly. As soon as he finished speaking, hundreds of millions of translucent golden Excalibur merged with the power of Pluton and turned into a translucent dark gold crown god sword. The divine power was strengthened more than 10 times, and the madness bombed Hades. Hades tried his best to defend the barrier, but after stealing the Pluton sword, he was already gone. He only resisted the barrier for 10 minutes before being pierced, and he was beaten into a hornet's nest. To anger me, you just want to steal my divine sword. You are obviously not weaker than me. Why don't you fight with all your strength? Pluton Hades was out of breath and asked the last question, which was the biggest doubt in his heart. What can be done with 1 point of effort? Why use 2 points of effort? When you, Zeus and Poseidon overthrew your father, the means were not very glorious. Yi Chen said with a faint smile point. If Pluton Hades didn't reveal the Pluton sword at the very beginning, Yi Chen couldn't use the magic book of truth prematurely. Although the magic book of truth can steal the power of the class, there are no conditions, but stealing divine power always requires a process. If the other party is prepared, the process of stealing the magic book of truth will encounter the most tenacious resistance of the opponent point. But now it's much easier. Hahaha, is that so? The patient. No, you should be called a wise man. Are you underestimating me? My name is Hades, the creator god of the underworld. You will never be able to destroy me. Pluton Hades laughed miserably, and then turned into a massive divine power, emitting a powerful power of time and space, ready to travel through time and space and return to the world. Want to escape from here? Daydreaming. Yi Chen turned the emptiness into a magic cube of nothingness, purifying the power of time and space emanating from Hades' source of divine power into nothingness, preventing it from escaping point. Only after successfully preventing the escape, Yi Chen heard a familiar voice of nature. HMPH, are you crazy? In the secluded world, purple-haired lolly Pandora said lightly. Chapter 188 Pandora, the days after the God Slayer can't live. Huh. Pandora, I didn't expect you to intervene in my sea of consciousness. Yi Chen was a little surprised that Pandora rarely directly intervened in the battle between God Slayers and gods, let alone contact him directly. Can you not intervene? The gods of the underworld are not from the lower realm of their bodies. I don't know how much trouble Hades' body will bring me this time. HMPH, what are you trying to do? And in the future, Pluton will never come. This is a big event that destroys the balance of the entire mythical courtyard. In the world, Pandora coughed angrily. Yi Chen listened with a slight smile, but did not expect that this energetic adoptive mother had some words. Of course Yi Chen knows the consequences of killing Hades, but so what, as long as it is beneficial to him. And at first, he did not expect that the deity would come down to earth, and the other party eroded his divine body first, but he was resisted. This is his choice. There can only be one Pluton. If he has such a choice, he has to pay the corresponding price. Yi Chen will not let go of Pluton Hades in the world of gods. Pluton's divine power is already. He will not hand over what is in his bag. Then you have to think about inheriting Hades' aspect in the myth. Pandora muttered. Aspect? What is that? Yi Chen kingly asked. It's your position in the myth, the personality of Pluton and the myth. Once you kill him, when the world mentions the Pluton and the myth, it is no longer Hades, but you, Yi Chen. Pandora said, and then. Yi Chen didn't think it was a big problem. In the future, if someone summons Pluton, the god of disobedience, you have to project down and fight against them. Pandora said, that's fine. Yi Chen laughed. You agreed? Pandora thinks that Yi Chen should be the more troublesome person. Anyone who dares to summon my projection, the consequences will be at your own risk. Yi Chen smiled coldly, wanting to kill him to gain his power. Be prepared for death. Suddenly I think it's better for you to refuse to be Pluton. Pandora's cute little face twitched, feeling that this guy Yi Chen not only wants to be the strongest god slayer in history, but also the strongest god in history. After that, the days of the gods will probably be impossible. Haha, it's a little late for you to regret it now. Yi Chen won't give Pandora a chance to go back, and it's not her turn to go back point at present. Yi Chen's strength is on the same level as the top gods in the world of gods, and no one is afraid of the magic book of truth point. As for Pandora's strength is unknown, but she obviously can't interfere too much in the world, otherwise she wouldn't let the Dream Demon team mess up point the rubbish of the Dream Demon squad. Pandora doesn't need a finger to get rid of it in seconds. HMPH, who are you, and where have LUOG and Athena been taken by you? Pandora asked curiously. You want to know? That's my biggest secret. It depends on our fate. Yi Chen smiled meaningfully. Point fate. People have husbands in myths and legends. When Pandora heard this, her cute little face showed a girl's blush, which was very green and cute. It's shameful to be cute, especially in my mind. And isn't your husband fake? Yi Chen said lightly with a look that had seen through everything for a long time. Point in the mythology, the witch Pandora has a nominal husband, but the relationship is like Pluton and Queen Wu. Others think they are husband and wife, but the real situation is not, and even the relationship between the two may be contradictory. I didn't expect you to know. Pandora said with a smile. The cuteness was exposed, but she didn't feel ashamed. She was so cute in Pandora, the cutest witch in the world. Of course I know. You will understand when you come to my place. The premise is that you have the luck. Goodbye will be the mother of gods. After that, Chen smiled mysteriously and then carried Luke Eurasia back to China Lushan Mountain Point in the secluded world. Pandora pondered silently. Is it luck? After returning to Lushan Mountain in China, Chen and Luke Elasiana the witch had a good time and had cancer of the foot and hand, and then returned to the Superdimensional Internet Cafe under her resentful eyes. Actually, it wasn't that Chen didn't want to stay and eat this familiar witch, but he knew that Hatsune Miku was watching him and couldn't teach bad children. Super Dimension Internet Cafe, you guys are all together. Chen went directly back to Yan Lingji's bedroom and said with a smile, congratulations to the master, the power has been improved again, the master is awesome. Yan Lingji Hexi said, I think the master should celebrate at night. Astes said very directly, you step back, don't teach bad children. Luo Heo Hunt, okay. Yan Lingji did not dare to disobey the master's righteous sister, so she could only leave with Hatsune Miku. Astes wasn't very afraid of Luo Zeo, but he had to show his master's face. After looking at Chen, he went out with Yan Lingji. Haha, Lana, you are more like a parent now. Chen couldn't help teasing, seeing that Yan Lingji and Astes were so well behaved in front of Luo Heo. Humph. Luo Heo Hunt, cough. Master, you have gone too far this time. Athena said with some dissatisfaction. HMPH, brother, you actually went to single out Hades alone. Luo Heo said with a brow point question. I don't think the spirits of the underworld can threaten me. Chen has always grasped his own strength very accurately and has never fought a battle that he is not sure about. My concubine doesn't feel good because you didn't bring me with you. Athena Hunt, that's right. Luo Liang nodded, not even bringing them along. It was too damn it. There will be opportunities in the future. Yan Lingji's world has many opportunities to summon the gods of disobedience. Chen touched the knees of the two goddesses and reassured them. Jiushan Zuan Van Demon God Chiao Chen's predetermined goals. Brother said the same. Luo quickly compromised in the face of Chen's magic. Athena was speechless for a while. Luo turned away to quickly point after a pause. Athena said, actually, this time, if Pandora doesn't let you make up the phase of Hades, a war of gods may break out in our world to compete for the throne of Pluton. So well, it seems that Pandora is not bad. Chen said, that woman is more partial to the god slayer and often calls our disobedient god a troublemaker, and she doesn't know what Zeo is thinking about in her mind. Athena raised her eyebrows. Pandora is a god who cannot be seen through her wisdom and power. That's not important. Anyway, for the Superdimensional Internet Cafe, there are only two kinds of people, friends or enemies. For now, she doesn't want to be an enemy of us. That's enough. Chen crossed lightly. Brother said yes. Luo Heo nodded. This should be said by the concubine. Athena was a little dissatisfied. I said there is a problem. Luo Wenyan held Chen's hand directly, as if declaring his sovereignty. Athena directly hugged Chen's other hand without saying a word, fighting each other. Okay, don't make trouble. Give Ryumu and the others good advice. There's not much time left for them. Saying that, Chen's eyes narrowed. The second Tianyuan mutation had no effect on internet cafes, but for Lingmeng and the others, it was a big change in the world they lived in. The future, a new era is about to begin. Chapter 189 Exit, the beginning of the great world. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye, it was the afternoon of the third day after Chen chose the task. Time 4:50. Location, Superdimension Internet Cafe. In the Internet Cafe, Saitama, Laozi, Merlin, Aizen, Archer Himadara, Magneto, Tony, Whitebird, Enel, Orochimaru, Dr. Kines, Woolyuki, Mutogame and other people who can participate in the station are all sitting on the left side. The girls are Luoheo, Athena, Aqua, Eris, Acids, Urza, Yanlingji, Misaka Makoto, Shinono Bundle, Alice and other women sitting on the right. Mei, Sakurajima, Hatsune Miku, Rocker, and Kasumi Shiko are in charge of watching the show. Especially the bunny girl Mei Sakurajima. She was very excited when she encountered such a grand event that affected a magical world not long after she first came to get acquainted with the Superdimension Internet Cafe. Because this time will be a feast for the gods. Chen has not appeared since he came back from the world of the gods, quietly retreating and digesting the divine power of Pluton Hades, which shows that he attaches great importance to this mission. Come on, Captain. Mei Sakurajima murmured to cheer Chen. Although she had 4,500 membership points and gained extraordinary strength all at once, her strength could only cheer Chen. Actually, Mengxin doesn't need to worry. You don't know how strong the leader is, and there is nothing to worry about this mission. I have already given Avalon to the leader, and the leader himself is immortal, right? Now the defense is invincible. Merlin smiled and disintegrated the solemn atmosphere in the internet cafe. Is that so? I don't know if we have a chance to shoot. Whitebird said 070 would be best if he had it. Aizen said with a slight smile. After obtaining part of the spiritual power of the Spirit King's body, his current realm is not weak in the 6th order, and he should be the strongest man in his world. Aizen does not know that the final boss of the Shinigami world is the all-seeing bug, Yalhabach. If he knew, he would not change his mind, because the current pug's strength is not yet at its peak, but there is Jyoku and the Spirit King. Aizen of power, I should be able to fight Sage of 6 Paths now. Uchiha Madara said proudly, although he may not be able to win Sage of 6 Paths, but it should be no problem to force it. Because he has developed a super powerful 6 Paths magic, he has the confidence to forcibly fight against any strong enemy. Is Sage of 6 Paths strong? Are the gods strong? Can you take a punch from me? Saitama asked expectantly at this time. It's just that as soon as Saitama opened his mouth, the internet cafe bosses lost their enthusiasm. To be honest, with Saitama around, they don't think there's a chance for them to perform. The gods of the Otherworld are probably at the 6th order level, and if they are projected, they are likely to be the level of the gods who do not obey. Aizen is a good opponent for them. But for Saitama, it's really a punch and a quack level. Don't speak, you bald demon king. Aqua muttered. She felt that the bald-headed demon king liked to pretend too much, as if he could settle things by himself. Who's bald? Saitama's head almost showed a big tic-tac-toe. He hated people saying he was bald the most. There seems to be no one bald here except you. Aqua hugged her hands and hummed. Aqua can still tell who is bald and who is not. After all, she is not blind, not to mention she is so smart and cute. Saitama gritted his teeth, looked in the mirror angrily, looked at the reflection of his head in the mirror, and suddenly had an expression full of tears. I'm showing off, and I'm getting stronger. This sentence contains the most complex and richest emotions in Saitama's heart. Mr. Saitama, one must recognize the reality. Zashizi said, actually, if you want to grow your hair, you can find Dr. Kines. I think he will find a way. Yingli said, you can wear a wig. No one here will despise you. The Saint Hui smiled slightly. Actually, bald head is also good. You don't have to cut your hair, buy shampoo, or blow dry, and Guanjan can still light up. Mei Yujima looked at Saitama's bald head and commented lightly. She felt that, after thinking about it carefully, bald head still has many advantages. Clever? Saitama's face twitched fiercely, staring at Mei Sakurajima, and wanted to say, are you a devil, lighting? PFFT haha, sorry, I shouldn't have laughed. Aang Riri held back her smile and apologized to Saitama, but her smile was a little low. In fact, not only her laughing point is low, Liuha, Alice and the others are a little bit more than laughing. You're all devils. Saitama felt a little suicidal. If the mission wasn't about to start, he wouldn't want to stay in the internet cafe now, and he'd better go online in the discussion group in the future. Hey, buddy, you have to understand in the internet cafe that some people can't be offended. Tony said with some schadenfreude. At this time point in the past, he was attacked by the girls, but now there is someone who is even more hated. Why? Saitama didn't understand what Tony meant. Point isn't there a saying in the ancient Oriental East, only women and villains are difficult to support? Tony showed off his knowledge a little. Yes, I have a deep understanding. Merlin nodded. Is there really such a sentence? Many dapigs trotters. Liu who snorted coldly. Pointed is said that many non-China girls in internet cafes are staring at Merlin and Tony coldly. Are these two cats dying of itching if they are not attacked for a day? If you don't believe me, ask the old man. Tony quickly changed the subject. He had been closed for several days, and now he was relieved, and he didn't want to be attacked again. That's right, I remember it was said by a junior named Confucius. Laozi nodded lightly. His attitude towards Confucius was very calm, just like an ordinary person. Point for Confucius. Laozi can't say anything about his feelings. There is no intersection, and he will not comment. Point however, Laozi was somewhat displeased with the cynicism of the later generations of Confucianism. Taoism's inaction is not suitable for governing a country, but Confucianism's cynicism is a disaster for the country and the people. There really is a saying, what the hell is Confucius, who discriminates against women? Liu Hua snorted. Liu Huajiang, it seems that your historical grades are very poor, and Confucius doesn't know who it is. Xia Shizi was a little speechless. China's famous people can basically be seen in Japanese textbooks, and the guerrilla sticks of the Han country are even more terrifying. They directly wrote the famous Chinese people in their history books and said that they are the orthodox China because the Han country, one of the 7 heroes of Sengoku, is located in the heart of the Central Plains. This logic is simply awesome. What? I only need to have the true eyes of the evil king. Liu Hua muttered, okay everyone, it's 4:59. Before the time was approaching, Luozi stood up and shouted. 2 days ago, Yi Chen told her that if the time was up and he didn't go out, he would lead the internet cafe members instead of him. But the time is just right, everyone. It's been a long wait. Just at this moment, a black light flashed, and Yi Chen, dressed in a handsome and unrestrained Pluton robe, appeared in front of the main computer of the internet cafe, looked at the members of the internet cafe below, and smiled. Brother. Luo Heo's eyes lit up, and his brother really digested the power of Pluton Hades in time. Achan, you've become handsome again. Aqua said happily. At this moment, Yi Chen is dressed like an elegant and noble prince, but he has the majesty of a god king above the 9 heavens. Although Yi Chen, who awakened conquerors before, also has the temperament of a king, he is only the king of the world. Compared with the current king's aura, he can be called a world. Brother, you have an extra mark between your eyebrows. Hatsune Miku found that Yi Chen's eyebrows had a beautiful dark mark. Is this an oracle bone print unique to immortals? Laozi asked with his eyes jumping. No, this is my Pluton seal. Yi Chen said with a slight smile, which is a manifestation of him completely digesting Pluton's divine power, activating the power of Pluton's divine body, and condensing his own Pluton divine personality. Pluton's seal. It seems that the leader has made another step forward. Aizen pushed his glasses and said, there is no breakthrough level, but the divine power has skyrocketed more than 10 times. Yi Chen said lightly. Now he is still half a step to the middle stage, but his divine power is half a step to the late stage. This increase is quite scary. Aizen was discouraged when he heard the words and felt like he was kneeling to the leader of the group. This progress is too fast. It is estimated that if this continues, the leader of the leader is not only invincible at the same level, but will be more powerful than the level. Everyone. Just when Yi Chen wanted to continue to say something, the earth suddenly roared. Coming. Yi Chen frowned. Ding. The story mission is coming, and the world of war is officially opened. Limited character, Master Yi Chen, with 5 tier 6 powerhouses randomly included. This task is divided into 3 levels. 1. Defend Jiangnan City, kill the resurrected god of fire, god of thunder and god of wind. 3 god tier only. Reward. Members who participate in the task will have random attributes to increase, and member points will be 10,000 points! 2. Defend the land of China and suppress all the different dimension cracks in China. Rewards. A small increase in all attributes. Membership points. 20,000 points. 3. Defend the planet. Suppress the army of natural disasters and the projections of gods from all over the world. Reward. All attributes are greatly improved. Reward member points. 50,000 points. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 190, The Unexpected Person. The 16th night reappears. The third class mission also involves the defense of the planet. This mission is too scary. Liu exclaimed and looked at the dark sky outside, and the space-time that began to shatter even outside the window of the internet cafe. There is an exit of a different dimension crack point. The location where the group leader's internet cafe is built is also a bit too good. Sister Fear, it's a crack in another dimension, just outside our window, in the bedroom, looking at the terrifying changes around him. Yi Ling Meng said in horror with cold sweat on his face. No, it's so coincidental, it's too pitiful. Tang Yan said depressedly, it's not a coincidence, it's an inevitable fate. Xia murmured, this is a doomed internet cafe, but this doom is long in advance. Meng Fei bowed her head a little embarrassedly at this time. This is the setting in the game, and it is the place where the protagonist's plot begins. It is also the place where the protagonist awakens for the first time in the true sense point. But now that the protagonist's strength has completely exceeded the standard, and the development of the world is different from the game, she feels that this pot is not hers. Brother Yi Chen, can they really stand it? Yi Ling Meng was a little worried. Even if the superdimensional spiritual religion is very powerful, her sister Reluo Heo is definitely more than 100 times stronger than Dawn Xiaoma these days, but she's still some worried about Yi Chen brother. In fact, if she cares, she will be confused. If Yi Chen can't handle it, it's useless for her to worry, because she can't help much. Don't worry, your brother Yi Chen is amazing. Meng Fei's talent, Shine Qi, saw some revelation of being able to go to heaven, so she hugged Yi Ling Meng and said with a light smile, yeah. Yi Ling Meng nodded. Sister Fear had never missed anyone, and her predictions had almost come true. If she came here, she wouldn't go wrong. At this time, Yi Chen squinted at the superdimensional cracks outside the internet cafe and smiled in his heart. This means that there is a way to heaven, and they don't go, and there is no door to hell. Do they break in? Those idiots of the gods don't need blood sacrifice to the 800,000 victims of Jiangnan City. The center of the second Tianyuan Mutation outbreak is right in front of Yi Chen's house. Chen, can I revive those victims? At this time, Aqua shouted with a sense of justice. Even if she was not selected for this mission, she would still revive those victims. After all, she is a kind goddess, and in this way, they can get their beliefs, and it is best for them to join the Axis sect. Hee. Aqua thinks that she is really smart, and she can think of such good ideas. You are a high level god now, but your divine power is the weakest among the high level gods. Can you do it? Yi Chen asked. Resurrecting people will always be 10,000 times more difficult than killing people. It's easy for you to let Saitama blow a star. You let him fix a planet, and he can't do it until he dies. I can lend my divine power to Senior Aqua. It should be no problem. At this time, the thoughtful silver-haired goddess Eris said and she didn't say a thing, since she also entered the superdimensional internet cafe with her. The great will, inhibition, of this planet has become stronger, and it owes her some cause and effect. It will not prevent them from saving people, but will help. Inhibition is the highest authority on the planet, and it is easier to revive a person than to eat. Alright then, the victims will be handed over to you. Yi Chen nodded, then looked at Magneto and the others, and found that they haven't recovered yet. 1. The shock caused by the second Tianyuan mutation was too great. It changed the world. Now the energy thickness of the interdimensional crack outside the window is comparable to that of a black hole, but it has not completely erupted. 2. The rewards are huge. The minimum rewards are 10,000 member points, and attributes are also enhanced. Enel and Muta games are stunned. The rewards of this mission are a bit exaggerated, but the difficulty must be extremely high. The highest reward is 50,000 member points, and all attributes have been greatly improved. This can make the early stage 6 directly to the later stage. Magneto said with excitement. He is only the initial stage 6 combat power, while Luo Liang, Athena, Merlin, a master of the 6th order perfection level, can easily wash the planet. Magneto is not sure whether the 6th order great perfection can explode a star with one blow, but he is definitely invincible in the world. As for the half step, it must be a starburst, not sure. But it's no problem for an ordinary person to reach the early stage of rank 6. Urza said, she is very close to rank 6 now, but unfortunately she can't participate in this mission. I hope to participate in this mission. Aestes glanced at Urza slightly proudly. When did you surpass me? Urza was taken aback. They came to the internet cafe at the same time, and their strengths were similar. She was even better in overall strength. Both parties took the potion of the gods, and Urza's potential was even more amazing. Her mother was the creator of dragon slaying magic 400 years ago, and the strength was not weak in the 6th order strongest female magician. Zero asking for flowers otherwise. The potential of this fairy queen Urza wouldn't be so amazing. And Aestes loses in bloodline. After the potential is stimulated, Aestes is also close to the 6th rank, but the combat power is obviously behind Urza. But why did Aestes overtake her now? She was still stronger 3 days ago. Although Urza knew that after Aestes became Lord Yi Chen's maid, she could rely on the power and protection of the war god to enter the 6th rank for a short time, but she could not be regarded as a 6th rank powerhouse. Hee. You don't understand. Aestes remembered the master's majestic power and smiled proudly. His jade face flushed, like a girl in love. I don't understand. Urza has a carefree personality. She has never thought about men and women. She really doesn't understand what Aestes is talking about, and she doesn't understand why Aestes blushed. 0.0. If you don't understand, you don't understand. Why do you blush? Why? It seems that Queen Yaoji doesn't understand love as well as the Queen of Ice. Saint Hui reminded with a smile. Understand love? Urza looked at Yi Chen thoughtfully when she heard the reminder from Saint Hui. At this moment, Yi Chen just clapped his hands softly, making everyone pay attention to him, and then said, you all know the quest reward. The more generous the reward, the higher the difficulty. This quest requires a level 6 strength. After registration, a random draw will be made. Select. Start speed registration now. I'm the first. Whitebeard is also eligible now, so he didn't hesitate to sign up. And Luog, Athena, Laozi, Merlin, Aizen and others, not to mention, collective registration is not missed. Even Aqua, Eris and the others who were going to save people signed up. But Yi Chen unexpectedly had 3 people. The first one was Saitama. Can this bald-headed devil be considered tier 6? Even though he has tier 7 combat power, he was judged as tier 6 by the system. Could it be because he belongs to the breakthrough limiter of human beings, but not of gods and demons? The second and third are the original temporary members and a tier 6 member who was not voted in, Reverse Isaiah and the Marquis of Vauban. Yi Chen was surprised that Isaiah had the right to sign up. Are there people like Marquis Vauban who were voted down by him? Doesn't Queen Medusa also have the right to register for tasks? Superior. Chapter 191 Black and or Whitewashing, God's Debut. See if Queen Medusa has signed up. Yi Chen checked the list of the rest of the applicants, after seeing Reverse Isaiah, Marquis of Vauban. Result, not even. Yi Chen was slightly surprised. Could it be that Queen Medusa was too vigilant, so she didn't agree? However, in a certain animation version of the Sky Continent, in the God tier temple of the Snake Tribe, Queen Medusa, who has just taken a bath, brought disaster to the country and the people, and charms all beings, is now full of eyebrows. Dao Huang's peak is not a 6th order superdimensional. It's not. That Queen Medusa doesn't want to sign up, but her level is a little bit worse. Although the fantasy world is high level, the Dowdy is only a star, and if she can't destroy the Sky Continent, she can only crack the continent. The higher the plane, the more difficult it is. Starburst. Because the high level energy of the plane is high, the greater the energy required for starburst. Dao Dingshan is the first step. She is Dao Huang, and there is Dao Zhang Daozhen in the middle. Dao Sheng has 3070 realms. The Dao Huang has the power to destroy a city with one blow, and Medusa's defeated general, the Ice Emperor, once froze a city in anger in the early stage of Dao Huang, reaching the peak. It is equivalent to the one tail of the tail beast to the 9 tails, and it is also the 5th order strength, although the city in the fantasy world is comparable to the modern imperial capital of China. And the high energy density makes Queen Medusa at the top of Dao Huang almost invincible in the 5th rank. It is still a little worse than the 6th rank point. If she advanced to Dao Zhang, it should be the 6th order entry point. Therefore, Queen Medusa felt a little cold in her heart, and swore secretly that she must find the whereabouts of the different fire, and use the secret method of the family to break through to Dao Zhang point. And her decision also made her find Yehuo 10 years ahead of schedule. Brother, you seem a little disappointed. Luo Heo was also on the main computer at this time. Saw the list of applicants, and found the reverse Isao in the Marquis of Vauban. Guessing that his brother's lost expression was because he didn't see Queen Medusa. No, it's just that Wei is curious that the task list is so broad. Chen shook his head, and then said, this time, the selection of the mission depends on luck. Yeah, there are only 5 people, and now there are 2 more places to compete. Merlin was slightly worried. In terms of strength, apart from Chen and Saitama, he might be able to squeeze into the top 5, but it depends on luck. Hard to say. On the other hand, Magneto and White but have no opinion. In terms of strength, they are only in the top 10 in internet cafes, which is fair to them in such a random arrangement. Master Team Leader, are the results out yet? Aizen pushed his glasses and asked after the results of the task list are released. It should be the time when the monsters and the interdimensional cracks come out. Ding. Random list confirmed. As soon as Aizen asked, the result came out, but the list of 5 tasks that appeared was somewhat unexpected. Saitama, Reverse Isao, Luo Heo, Marquis of Vauban, Dark Archmage. The internet cafe bosses are full of love, and the Dark Archmage of God he is Meow. The Dark Master is also a member of an internet cafe. Merlin spit out, he is now the guardian elf of Muta Games, and he is also a part of the internet cafe. Chen shrugged, this choice and judgment had nothing to do with him, so he couldn't blame him. After the last battle with Saitama, the summoned Dark Archmage did not return to the fairy world, where the cards were located, but lived directly in the Millennium building blocks of Muta Games, and signed a symbiotic contract with Muta Games. I knew that this mission was not mine. Aizen secretly said that as expected, his luck was not particularly good. Why do you know? Uchiha Madara asked suspiciously, did Aizen find something? Look at the list, and analyze it yourself. Aizen was too lazy to explain. Uchiha Madara frowned and glanced at the list. Saitama and Isao were both extremely powerful. They were both open ranked and stronger than him. Uchiha Madara was convinced. Don't say Luo Heo. She was originally the younger sister of the leader of the group, and Godslayer had strong luck, so there was nothing wrong with her, but he refused to accept the Marquis of Vauban and the Dark Archmage. Marquis of Vauban is a Godslayer, and he also has strong luck. This is the reason for his clearance. But what luck does the Dark Mage have? Is it because of the good luck of the Muta game? Uchiha Madara doesn't believe in luck. In fact, there is a lucky factor in the random task, but it is not 100% lucky, but the probability of people with higher luck is higher. Not selected. Needless to say, the luck of the Muta game is the king of gods, the son of luck. Saitama, he is the protagonist named the bald-headed demon king. He has been training for 3 years, and the 7th order combat power equals the result of at least a year of training for the 6th order powerhouse. How can his hidden luck value be comparable to that of ordinary people? Going back to Isao, not to mention this, people are born to hang on the wall, and they are also the protagonist, a son of luck who is open to hanging, and the strong luck of Luo Liang and Marquis Vauban's gods. In fact, compared with the above 3 big men, it is already very weak. Are you lucky? Child of luck doesn't really exist. Zero Orochimaru secretly frowned. And before the next mission, should he form a team with the son of luck to split the luck? There is also the son of luck in his world, who seems to be Uzumaki Naruto, who is still in his stomach. Should he consider taking Uzumaki Naruto as a disciple? It looks like that guy will be Jiraiya's funny apprentice in the future, and NTR's apprentice. It seems to be a good thing. Gee Jiraiya, you can't blame me, who made your apprentice a child of luck. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth and smiled grimly. Seeing Orochimaru's gloomy smile, Chen always wondered if Uzumaki Naruto could become the savior in the future. Probably Black and who was taught by Orochimaru. But not necessarily. The original Orochimaru was later whitewashed and later had a son. So was Vortex Naruto taught by Orochimaru to blacken, or Orochimaru was overwhelmed by Vortex Naruto's mouth? It seems to be worth looking forward to. Just 1 minute after the list came out, a second-degree space-time vibration erupted in the interdimensional crack outside the internet cafe. The intense power of time and space was twisted into a black ball, and like the space shock in the dating world, it erupted with the power to annihilate all matter outside the window. If the time and space fluctuations of that black ball erupt, I feel like it can destroy the world. If my shock fruit can send out such a shock wave, I dare to say that I'm invincible at the 6th order. Whitebird stood up. The eyes were shocked. This move is a space shock, which contains the power of 3 gods. Chen was slightly surprised, but it wasn't, because he felt that the power of the space shock 3.7 was too strong. But he didn't expect that the 3 gods would descend from a third world in this way. Master, you mean this is what the god of fire, god of thunder, god of wind made? A light flashed in Aizen's eyes. It seemed that the strength of the 3 gods of wind, fire, and thunder was stronger than he expected. Interesting. Too interesting. There was no reward for this mission, and he wanted to fight them. Killer la. I want to ask them for advice. Whitebird said with a fighting spirit, whatever you want, except Vulcan, you can do whatever you want. After saying that, Chen dodged and flew out of the window, intending to annihilate this space earthquake with his own hands. Master, how can this matter? Allah marking, leave it to this uncle. At this moment, Izayoi, who came to the main world because of a mission, rushed forward and punched the black ball in the distorted space. Ugh. The earth-shattering energy fluctuations burst open in an instant. Chapter 192. The 3 gods of wind, thunder, and fire. What is a mere human being? Under Izayoi's heavy punch, the distorted space black ball dissipated in an instant. It didn't explode to cause any waves, but suddenly dissipated into nothingness. How so? Inside the window of the internet cafe, Whitebird was speechless when he saw this scene. Just now, he shouted that he could shake out of the space, and he was invincible on the same level. Now, seeing Izayoi's punch to disperse the shockwave, I felt extremely embarrassed. What a powerful punch! Saitama exclaimed in surprise, as if he had met an opponent. Saitama asked himself that there was no way to stop the spacequake from erupting unless he could shake the spacequake out at once. Simply put, it is to cancel the space earthquake with the same space fluctuation. Not to mention how to control the force. It is an embarrassing big problem that Saitama can't play the space shock wave at all. However, the method Chen intends to use is simpler, that is to directly reach out to touch the space shock and rely on its own power of nothingness to swallow the energy of the space shock, so that the 3 god tiers can't shake anything. The way to reverse Izayoi is as simple as Chen's, except that his method is not to swallow, but to smash, similar to the Magic 21 to kill all the supernatural power to erase this reverse Izayoi. It's no wonder that in the last world mission, he was entrusted by the leader of the team to cast a psychological shadow on A-lister in Academy City. Aizen said with glittering eyes, this is a strong man, stronger than him, and not as distant as the leader, nor as unreasonable as Saitama. I feel that I can set a small goal first and go beyond Izayoi. Although Aizen has a good idea, if he knows that Izayoi's explosive potential to fight for his life may be stronger than Saitama, then he probably won't have such an idea for the time being. Because this is not a small goal, but a distant ideal. He's better than me. Luoheo was arrogant and seldom convincing, but she knew that she couldn't beat Izayoi. Athena nodded slightly. All their means were ineffective against Izayoi, and Izayoi could directly injure them. Their only way was to dodge, but how could they defeat the opponent in that way? When the 3 gods come out, we'll take action, Aizen said with narrowed eyes. Whitebird, Uchiha grinned and nodded point because Chen, Saitama, and the three strongest Uranus and the Izao Internet Cafe are all playing. They must fight against the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire as soon as possible. Otherwise there will be no chance point at this moment. Three divine light groups of red, cyan, and silver slowly emerged from the shattered cracks in different dimensions. Damn, who is stopping us? Because of the failure of the space shock, the three god tiers in the light group were only very angry. This time they reappeared in the world, and they were very embarrassed. Point originally, they made such a high profile appearance to teach the superdimensional sector lesson, sacrifice the people of the entire Jiangnan city with blood, and let them know that all those who are related to the superdimensional sect will become the target of their revenge. Point completely play the superdimensional religion and cut off their beliefs. Killing one as an example can also effectively enhance their faith. Point unexpectedly, they appeared like a fart. The thunder was loud and the rain was small, and there was no power at all. Master Leader, the three of them are the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire. Reverse Izao stood on the roof, looking at the three colors of divine light in the air, and asked point there are three majestic figures in the light group, and they seem to have some ability. Yes, they are the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire. Chen nodded lightly point looking at so strong. Can I kill them? Point when Izao saw that he was happy, he rushed towards the three gods. As soon as he finished speaking, Chen still wanted to shout, leave me one, but I didn't expect Izao to be so hurried. As soon as he appeared, he would punch, and his fist was very sharp, and the power contained in it could shatter mountains and rivers, and shatter the earth's veins in internet cafes. Except for Chen, Izao's punch is second only to Saitama's serious punch. Point it's a pity that, although Izao's shot was fast, there were three people who shot faster than him. Shock fruit infinite shock. Whitebird broke out devil fruit with all his strength, fighting cattle across the mountain, all kinds of kilometers high in the sky, denting the space, not the air, but the real denting of the space. Point a punch hit the Fengshen who was standing on the far left and looked very handsome. PFFD. Fengshen is the resurrection of the deity, but he has just been resurrected without the power of faith, and is still very weak. Although his strength is stronger than the projection of the gods outside Jiangnan city, it is only in the middle stage of the sixth order. Facing Whitebird's full blow, unprepared, he was still beaten to the ground and vomited blood. How is this possible? Fengshen was injured by a blow, which surprised Vulcan and Thor, but they didn't wait for them to take action. 6 Paths Zion Juva China Thunder Pi. Uchiha actually performed the flying thunder god technique, flashed behind Vulcan, and the palm of his hand erupted with a purple fairy light thunder that hit Vulcan, directly piercing the heart of Vulcan. How courageous. Destroy God Thunder. Thor, known for his speed and strength, saw his ally being attacked under his nose, and he was furious. A silver lightning full of destructive power erupted, and the speed of light counterattacked, piercing Uchiha heart at once. Hey, playing thunder? That's all. Thor sneered. Really? Have you heard of Kaikasujetsu? Point in the void, Aizen slowly emerged, and Uchiha stood beside him intact. How could you be okay? What I just called was Thor was stunned, but when he turned his head, he saw that Vulcan's head had been chopped off in half, and half of his mind was flashing with silver arcs. Lay Python, you idiot, you can't even see through the mere illusion. Vulcan cursed angrily. If it wasn't for his undead flames, he would have lost half his life now. Damn it. You are actually making fun of me. The strong Thor Thunder Python stared at Aizen angrily, with a look of deep hatred. Point it's just that Aizen didn't pay any attention to him at all. If there is a kind of opponent, he will continue to shoot. If he touches him, he will lose. Hey, seniors of internet cafes, it's not good for you to grab prey like this. At this time, Izao, who fluttered in the air, felt powerless as his fist hit the 070 cotton. All three prey were picked up by Aizen and the others. Who was he hitting? Yes, Vulcan is my prey. At this moment, Chen nodded. Aizen and the others were too impatient. Vulcan was his sure prey. Sorry, we were reckless just now. The leader of the team, we will not move Vulcan, but the two gods of wind and thunder, we really want to try the gap between each other. Aizen said apologetically and sincerely, then it's up to you. Yi Chen nodded. Mere human beings who can't even fly. How dare you ignore the gods? At this time, the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire stood together again, and the angry fire of faith ignited from their heavenly cover, shaking open the cracks in the different dimensions near Jiangnan City, as if they were summoning an extremely terrifying power. Because Izayoi did not learn flying skills, Whitebird and Uchiha also stood on high buildings. So they were regarded as human beings by the three gods. Although Yi Chen and Aizen were suspended in the air, they were directly ignored by them, a mere human. Yi Chen really can't figure it out. These three gods have lost their brains? Even human beings who can hurt them are not ordinary humans, right? Where do they have a sense of superiority? Interesting. As the leader of the team, we seem to be underestimated. Izayoi smiled coldly. Mere humans? These three deities sounded like they were treating people like animals, and they completely looked down on them. Yi Chen, don't look down on people, okay? Close the door and put Saitama. Chapter 193. The stage task. The big horse regrets it. Close the door. Put Kaiu. The three gods of Feng, Lei and Huo, who are preparing for a big move, all stared at each other. Who is Kaiu? Just hearing the name makes me feel very strange. And is it worth fighting with them? It's not Kaiu, it's Jade. At this time, in the window, the bald-headed Demon King shouted angrily. Don't think that he can't understand a single sound. Staying in a superdimensional internet cafe, you can distinguish any homophone in any language. HMPH. It's just a bald head. What are you doing? Yes, when we see you, we think of those hypocritical bull donkeys. You are the believers of those bull donkeys. No, you can't be so strong. No, this is Jiangnan City. You are superdimensional gods, the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire, who were burning with the fire of faith. Unfolded the magical barrier, and had a short conversation, and then suddenly realized the identity of Yi Chen and his party. You finally figured it out? Aizen pushed his glasses. A playful smile appeared on his face. What a group of gods with worrying IQs. I didn't expect them to know this now. Izayoi couldn't help laughing and laughing, although he didn't know that the leader of the group created such a sect. But if he was on the opposite side, he must have thought of this immediately. It doesn't matter if they know it or not. They can't leave here anyway. Lana, is the door closed? Yi Chen said lightly. It was arranged the first moment they appeared. In the void behind her, Luoheo slowly emerged. She is not a vegetarian. Although she did not go to intercept the space at the moment when the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire appeared, she set up a formation barrier in Jiangnan City. Now, unless the opponent's divine power surpasses her, or breaks her innate 8 trigrams array, no one can escape. The efficiency is really high, and the work is beautiful. Yi Chen turned around and touched Luo Yang's head and praised, "What a capable sister." Luo Liang blushed and nodded, adding, "Just now, Aqua and Eris have rescued the 800,000 victims, and now Eris is going to the neighboring Jiangbai city to rescue people with Aqua, and Athena and Acid seem to have followed. It's just saving people, it's fine." Yi Chen nodded. Aces now has the strength of the early stage 6. Plus Athena, there is no problem in protecting himself in this turmoil. Not to mention the special energy that Aces and Yi Chen left in her body, which is a mysterious whole card. Hey, team leader, can I beat them? At this time, Saitama shouted. The three gods of wind, thunder and fire are so annoying. He even scolded him for being bald and bald just now. It's been a long time since you asked for their opinion. Yi Chen pointed at Whitebird and the others, and said leisurely, "I don't mind." Whitebird smiled cheerfully. "I think you immune to death them." Aizen pushed his glasses, and a dignified look flashed in his eyes. "Let us come, if immune to death." Uchiha chuckled. "Are you the bald-headed Demon King? You're very strong. Let's fight after I finish the task." Going back to Isao's intuition, he sensed Saitama's horror and looked at him differently, so he did not agree to give up the prey by accident. Okay. Saitama also intuitively felt that Isao could fight back, so he readily agreed. Then, Saitama looked at the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire with a vicious smile. "What are you going to do?" The three gods of wind, Thunder, and Fire, who were standing on all the formations of the divine power barrier, were suddenly horrified. Why do they feel scared when they clearly unfold the magical barrier, and the result? They soon knew. Never kill series. Continuous serious punch. Saitama smashed dozens of serious punches all at once, and the fist broke the star, and suddenly shattered the divine power barrier of the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire. Fuck coffee. The three gods of wind, thunder, and fire were stunned. And they were collectively stunned. Is this motherfucker really human? Isn't the strongest awakener of human beings only rank 5? Why is he so hung up? It's a pity that no one answered the questions in their hearts. Only Saitama's fist of destruction. Cough. 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 The three deities were constantly blasted by Saitama, bouncing back and forth in the formation barrier like ping pong balls, colliding constantly, and the sound was shaking. If the projections of the gods in the cracks of different dimensions outside Jiangnan City can see this scene, it is estimated that their jaws will drop, and they may even be too scared to come to this planet. What a miserable. In the internet cafe, Shizi looked at the three gods in the sky and shook her head. The bald-headed devil is still as brutal as ever. Liu Hua nodded. It seems that I should let the Dark Master go to other cities to help. Muto Game secretly said. At this time, outside the window of the internet cafe, Isaiah also flashed this thought. Jiangnan City does not need him. Lord Leader, I'm going to suppress the nearby cracks in different dimensions first, said to Yi Chen. Isaiah dodged through Jiangnan City's innate 8 trigrams formation, and leaped in the direction of Jiangdang. Yi Chen smiled slightly and turned back. Isaiah seemed to be reckless, but he was actually very smart and a wise man who knew that the areas along the coast of China had the most prey. The tasks are divided into 3 levels. Now it seems that this time is not a one-time outbreak task, but a stage task. The first stage, defending Jiangnan City, is 100% completed and must be completed. In the second stage, it is not easy to protect Shenzhou because Shenzhou is so big. Yi Chen and 5/6 order powerhouses are not enough, but Yi Chen and Saitama can't be considered 6th order at all, so Yi Chen is sure to suppress everything. In the third stage, the difficulty of protecting the planet should be the highest, and the situation may be very complicated. Now that the second Tianyuan mutation has just begun, Yi Chen can't make a conclusion for the time being. The heavens are coming to the golden world. It is estimated that it will be an unprecedented feast. Yi Chen pondered in his heart. At this time, people in the entire Shenzhou and even the whole world, who are not covered by gods, have flashed such concerns, such as big and small horses. It's just that the small horses now have some regrets in their intestines. Just a few minutes ago, on the crystal tower in the center of the refuge fortress in Jiangbai City, Xiaoma saw the 3 divine fires of faith burning in Jiangnan City. Big brother, you're right, we don't have the gods as our backers. In this battle of the gods, the 3 gods have really been resurrected. We are not qualified to participate in this battle. At the moment of seeing the fire of belief in the burning of the 3 gods of wind, thunder, and fire, the pony knew their terrifying power and felt extremely shocked. But Isaiah, Saitama, Yi Chen, who are stronger than the 3 gods of wind, thunder, and fire, are all restrained by their breath, so that neither the pony nor the horse can sense it. And Aizen and Uchiha auras are also hidden deeply. Their resourceful villains are not as foolish as the 3 gods. Burning the fire of faith and bursting out all of a sudden is majestic, but it also exposes their state and strength. This kind of behavior is called self-confidence if it sounds good, and it is stupid if it does not sound good. It's a pity that the big and small horses can't sense it. The only thing they can sense is the aftershock of Whitebird's shaking fruit. It's a pity that, although shock fruit has the power to destroy the world, the current Whitebird really has the ability to cause a tsunami to submerge the world. But this kind of power is estimated to be inferior to the sea god of the sea god sect, let alone the opponent has 3 gods. From Xioma's point of view, it was obvious that the superdimensional sect was at a disadvantage, and he was extremely wise to leave Jiangnan City for the sake of damn armings. Oh, actually, I don't want to withdraw from Jiangnan City, if it is possible. We were all ready to apologize, but unfortunately the entire Shenzhou will suffer this time. If Jiangbian City is not the fulcrum of the spiritual veins, our strength will not be able to stay. Now we can only hope that the gods of the superdimensional sect can win this war. The big horse standing beside him was extremely bitter. People couldn't help themselves in the rivers and lakes, and his strength was still too weak compared to the gods who came to China. This, I think, Zuan. Those are 3 gods. The superdimensional gods reckon there is only one, Zao Heo, real god, the god of destruction. They may only be half gods. As the pony spoke, he was suddenly stunned. His face dazed and unbelievable. What's wrong? Damar followed the pony's gaze and immediately showed the same, even more horrified expression. What a joke. Those 3 gods are being beaten up like a ping pong ball in the enchantment, bouncing non-stop. Our god, we are not dazzled. The big horse rubbed his eyes and looked at each other. It was obvious that they were not dazzled. It's the superdimensional sect that hangs up the 3 gods of wind, thunder, and fire to fight. The superdimensional religion is so awesome. A burst of remorse quickly filled their hearts. Maybe they made the wrong choice from the beginning. Alas, I was wrong. The pony was very regretful, discouraged and hurt, but to no avail. The superdimensional sect would definitely not pay attention to them. I was also wrong. I didn't expect that the gods of the superdimensional gods could hang the 3 gods of wind, thunder, and fire. Will the future world be a stage for the gods to compete for hegemony? Ma looked up at the sky, looked at the world covered with dark clouds, and looked like an apocalypse, and sighed faintly. Chapter 194. The Holy Emperor of Nothingness, the nemesis of the gods. A new era is coming. Just like our rise, there will be countless rookies rising in the future. It is difficult to say whether we can maintain our current aloof status. The pony looked at the sky following the eyes of the big horse and said worriedly, the Yangtze River, the waves behind push the waves ahead, and the new generation replaces the old. This is unavoidable. Now we can only protect the city and talk about the future. Malaysia said after pondering the attitude of the superdimensional religion. Xiaoma asked, apologizing is definitely required, at least one divine weapon. Dama murmured, big brother, do you have an artifact? Xiaoma was startled. He didn't know this. Didn't you also raise a water-type divine beast? Dama said with a smile, but he already knew Xiaoma's trump card. I can't hide anything from my brother. The pony smiled shyly and then asked solemnly, brother, if you say that the superdimensional sect offends 3 gods at once, will it be a little bit sharp? Only recently did Xiaoma know from Malaysia that the gods are all beings who ignite the fire of faith. If the faith is not extinguished, the gods can absorb the faith and slowly resurrect. Vulcan resurrected so quickly because his talent was immortal, and the flames directly burned belief and accelerated regeneration. The god of wind and the god of thunder are born of wind and thunder, and the fusion of the 2 beliefs can accelerate the regeneration. Therefore, the 3 gods were resurrected together, which was a big step faster than the other gods, although they encountered Waterloo in the first battle and were beaten horribly. The 3 gods had faith in the otherworld, and it was too difficult to kill them completely. Moreover, the overbearing and powerful suppression of the 3 gods by the superdimensional gods will make the other gods jealous and even jointly exclude them. Don't forget the teachings of the superdimensional religion. If you don't agree, do it. Look down on life and death. If you have a seed, you will come and fuck your mother. Dam shook his head with a wry smile. 073. He has never seen a religion with this kind of teaching. But what can I say? Now it is enough to know that they are strong. But killing the 3 gods is indeed a big problem. But it has nothing to do with us. We are just apologizing, not standing in line. We are just outsiders. Malaysia is also not optimistic that the superdimensional gods can kill the 3 gods, so they do not plan to stand in line and stay neutral. However, as soon as Malaysia finished saying this, he was quickly slapped in the face, and he was the one who witnessed himself being beaten in the face. At this moment, the sky above Jiangnan City beep 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 beep. The 3 gods of wind, thunder, and fire are like machine gun bullets, hitting the formation barrier, and the energy of each impact is enough to destroy the entire Eurasian continent. This kind of terrifying high-frequency attack, the divine power barrier of the god of disobedience can't bear it. Fortunately, the 8 trigrams array method Luo Heo used can absorb energy fluctuations and strengthen the array method point. Therefore, unless Saitama casts a star attack, it is impossible to destroy this formation enchantment point. And in the face of such a high intensity attack, the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire, needless to say, the girls in the internet cafe looked a little sore. That Vulcan has turned into a pig's head, and the bald-headed Demon King is really ruthless. Lily muttered, no, Thor was very hacky before, but now he is no different from a bear. Liuha gloated. I dared to look down on humans just now, but I didn't expect that the bald-headed Demon King is a human being. Hang there, humans. Fengshen had a calm look just now, and his words are no different from a kite with a broken string. Zarshizi said with a light smile, a kite with a broken string. Inri didn't quite understand the meaning of this metaphor. It can only be messed up in the cat wind. Sage Hui answered for her. Yingli suddenly realized that the sky is one of the main fields of Fengshen, but he was hammered in and out of the air. It is estimated that his heart was very messy, and he wanted to die after being humiliated. Damn bald head. The divine body burst. Suddenly, the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire, who had been hammered for 10 minutes, could no longer bear this humiliation. They exploded their own body of belief and detonated earth-shattering energy. Divine land point. However, this level of energy attack only scratches Saitama's itch. Ugh, what a powerful force. Saitama was blasted to the ground by the body of the three gods, blasted in mid-air, and muttered while standing. After the three deities exploded their divine bodies, they recovered quickly, but they dropped by more than one grade. They have changed from mid-level 6 to entry level 6, which is the bottom level of level 6, and any level 6 can be crushed. Damn it. He came out unscathed. Why? Is he really human? No, he must be the reincarnation of a demon god. Otherwise it is impossible to escape unscathed. The three gods paid such a huge price, but the bald-headed Demon King was not injured. Naturally, his face was full of shame and disbelief. This is really a human being. Obviously he can't even fly, he doesn't have divinity, and he can't even emit an energy wave. Why is he so hung up? He is so hung up. Does the creator know? Are you all bald? Where do I have hair? Saitama touched his bald head and said with a contemptuous expression. Although he does not admit that he is bald, he is very clear that he has no hair to damage. And the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire are so set. I feel that they are not as good as bald people. You're courting death. You're innocent. Do you really think we don't have the means to destroy you? You brought it on yourself. Believe in me. My name is the fire god Asa. The wind god Ura / the thunder god Thunder Python. Feeling Saitama's contemptuous gaze, the anger of the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire burned again, almost overdrafting their own belief in god fire, revealing their mythical real names in a third world. The strength suddenly soared from the early stage of the sixth order to the great perfection of the sixth order. The realm of the gods of the three gods covered the entire formation barrier, shattering the space and time, and there was a faint appearance of breaking through the Eluoheo barrier. I didn't expect them to be so consumed by Saitama that they could still emit such power. Whitebud was surprised. It's a desperate fight for them. Aizen pushed his glasses and laughed secretly in his heart. It seems that Saitama's contempt hurt these miraculous hearts, and their self-esteem as a god suffered a great blow. Saitama's indifferent face is full of hatred. Uchiha Madara said lightly, "What's wrong with my face?" Saitama's brain twisted as he listened. Don't think that standing behind him and saying bad things, he couldn't hear. You can't tell what your face looks like when you look in the mirror. Uchiha Madara said unceremoniously to Cade. Don't think that you are strong. I'm afraid of you. Uchiha Madara will never tire of the enemy in his life, and he will never lose to others. Do you want to fight? Saitama's teeth were scratching with anger. I don't want to. I'm not stupid, but why should I fight you? Uchiha Madara said with a smile. At this time, the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire were furious when they saw that Saitama was ignoring them. HMPH. Damn bald head. How dare you ignore us? On another day, we will definitely take your head. Remember us. In their fury, the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire immediately turned around and ran away, trying to break through the barrier and escape. Why not get angry and desperate? But run away. They are not fools. Now that their strength has briefly recovered to the peak, they still cannot see the depth of the energy in Satama's body. There are several god-level powerhouses around Satama. This situation is still desperate with Satama. Then they are not arrogant and stupid, but mentally retarded idiots seeing that they were about to escape. Luoheo reminded Li Chen, brother, they want to break through the barrier. The three gods of wind, thunder, and fire exploded to their full potential, and they couldn't beat her alone, but it was still possible for the three to join forces to break her formation. It's all in my plan. Yi Chen smiled slightly and took out the golden sword from under the block. Void God Realm. I saw a flash of golden light, and Jiangnan City suddenly fell into the endless space of gods. In the space, there was nothingness, the sword of God, and the fire of faith burning on the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire ahead. Oops, what kind of sword is this? It can actually cut off the fire of faith. Isn't this power the nemesis of our gods? The creator is crazy. How can he give him such a powerful power? The three gods of wind, thunder, and fire panic and liberate their real names from the mythology. Which means they have taken all their faith away, and the sword here can cut off faith. Wow, brother Li Chen's trick is so gorgeous. Yi Lingmeng said in surprise at the internet cafe. Tang Yan's eyes flashed with gold stars. The sun is so powerful. He really wants to give birth to a monkey for the sun. Is it the true power of the legendary Holy Emperor of Nothingness? The power of nothingness. Everything returns to ruins. Annihilation of faith and recreation of the wheel. Legend has it that after reaching ultimate, it is possible to devour even time and space. Belief, and even the reincarnation of the universe. The supreme power of reconstruction. Xia exclaimed in her heart. At this moment, Meng Fei felt more responsible. Is the creator crazy? She is not crazy. Although she is not the creator of this world, she feels that she is the creator of this online game world. And Li Chen's power was not set by her at all. When she woke up, she had a protagonist like Li Chen. This balance breaking power is not her fault. And now, Li Chen has such power as soon as he wakes up. And Meng Fei is also extremely surprised in her heart. This has completely gotten rid of the Void Saint Emperor in the online game script. The power of nothingness has always been the nemesis of the gods' belief in the fire. Now, on the basis of the power of nothingness, the Holy Emperor of Nothingness has also developed the skills of the power level. The gods have no choice but to die. Rest in peace. Come on, be a good person in your next life. Meng Fei looked at the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire, and said with pity in her heart, relax, you have no next life. But at this moment, Yi Chen waved his hand, and the billions of swords of nothingness beat the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire into a hornet's nest. The belief in the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire was wiped out, and they knew they would die. So before dying, they used up their last strength and sacrificed their natal artifact, the Vulcan sword, thunder spear, and Fengshen whip, mixed them together, and then detonated them. The three forces of wind, thunder, and fire mixed and exploded, creating a small chaotic black hole the size of a fist, and the chaotic energy wave emanating, ignoring the barrier arranged by Luo Liang, caused the resonance of all the cracks in different dimensions in Shenzhou and even the entire planet. Boom. In an instant, the planet vibrated, and all the other dimensional cracks burst open. The second Tianyuan Mutation, a full-scale outbreak. Chapter 195. The Gods, the Apostles of the Devil, the Curse of Ghosts and Gods. Brother, those three bastard gods dare to bite back before they die. Luoheo frowned, and the moment when the second Tianyuan mutation fully erupted, the energy generated actually made her tremble. There are many powerhouses in this crack, different dimensional crack. The energy of those powerhouses can always make her tremble, and it is estimated that she is close to the true god. You don't need to be angry. The mission in the second stage is unavoidable, and the three divine weapons of the three gods of wind, thunder, and fire are useless. Yi Chen chuckled lightly, and then the current observation haki fully unfolded, and now his observation haki is enough to cover the entire planet. Under his perception of seeing, hearing, and color, everything that happened in the planet could not escape his eyes. The projection of the gods, the demon apostle, the ghost chasm, Yi Chen muttered to himself, frowning slightly. The task of the second stage was very complicated. Brother, what happened? Luo Liang's perception range couldn't even cover Shen's how, so he could only ask Yi Chen. The situation is very complicated. Aizaoi, the Dark Archmage, and the Marquis of Woban are already fighting. I will take the lead. As for the pictures on the planet, I have uploaded them to the internet cafe. After saying that, Yi Chen used his power, the Phoenix incarnation, to fly towards the north at a high speed. Elder brother, Luo Liang used his magical powers and rushed over after Yi Chen's figure. There seems to be a lot of strong aura over there, so I'm leaving first. Saitama saw that Yi Chen was gone, and he also left Jiangnan City and galloped westward. As for Aizen, Archer Hamadara, and Whitebird, their mission was to train themselves with the three gods. Now that the three gods had died, they went back to the internet cafe and watched the video that Yi Chen just uploaded to understand the situation on the planet. It's just that it's okay not to watch it. After watching it, Aizen, Archer Hamadara, Whitebird and the others all had cold sweats on their foreheads. The scene was so tragic that it was the end of the world. It is no wonder that the territory of the human race will be reduced to 1/10, and at the moment of full-scale outbreak, the territory of the human race has fallen to 2/3, and the scale is not the most terrifying. The terrifying is the powerful force. The Western world has been completely occupied by forces headed by gods, demons from the demon world, and powerhouses from other worlds. There are at least 50 projections of gods, equivalent to 50 gods of disobedience. Almost every nation has a god projection with their order. The Nordic Empress and the British Empress, the famous fifth order kings in the world, have no role in the face of the gods. However, they are lucky. They are all covered by gods behind them, unlike the big horses that belong to the loose people. So although their territory suffers, at least the emperor has no influence. The Western countries without the projection of gods are miserable. Almost all the people in the countries occupied by monsters are dead, and those occupied by the powers of other worlds are reduced to slaves. Moreover, there was also a melee between the powerhouses, monsters, and Western gods, and it was fortunate that the world did not explode. It's so miserable. The population of the West has dropped by half. In the internet cafe, watching Yi Chen's latest video, Zha, the poisonous girl, couldn't say anything cruel. Countless ordinary people were trampled to death by otherworldly beasts, bombarded by energy, and eaten by demonic beasts. The awakened armies in the Western world were either hiding under the protection of gods, annihilated, or surrendered as slaves. There is no fourth place options. It's too miserable, and the world of the leader is too terrible. I feel like I won't be able to sleep tonight. Mai Sakurajima was the first to encounter such a scene. Even if it was a movie, she still felt uncomfortable. Although I heard that there are no innocent people in Europe and the United States, at this moment, as human race, they still sympathize with the experiences of those in the Western world. Sakurajima senpai, then don't look at it. Let's rest first. We won't get used to it at first. It's fine. Sage Megumi patted Meishime on the back and comforted. Actually, if you live with me in the apocalyptic world, you'll be able to see through this kind of thing. At this time, Alice said. If it wasn't for the group leader's intervention, and she entered the superdimensional internet cafe, otherwise there might be thousands of human survivors left in her world. In contrast, the world of the leader of the group is now divided between human races, beasts, and monsters. A country covered by gods should be able to survive the crisis, and the powerhouses from other worlds are domineering, but at least they won't eat people, they just live a miserable life. If you encounter zombies, there is no chance to be a slave. I think why do people pay attention to the Western world? Our leader lives in the East, and it is not better to see the battle situation in China? Orochimaru said indifferently at this time. It's not that he is cold-blooded, but that he has seen too many wars, experienced too many life and death, and to be honest, he has experienced, no matter how tragic and cruel battles are, and what is the end of the world. Shen's how don't need to worry. There is the leader of the group and they are there, and the old people have gone out, and Merlin has also gone out. Zero ask for flowers. Liu looked at the vacant seats in the internet cafe and said, At the moment, when the second Tianyuan breakthrough broke out, Laozi jumped out of the window of the internet cafe and flew out in the direction of Hanggu Parcel de Merlin walked and company, and it was estimated that it was negotiated. Liu Huajiang, the old man will take action personally. This is the biggest problem. At this time, Xiao's his host point there is nothing about Laozi in this mission, and he personally helped out. It can be seen that the situation in China is not very good point after all. The Kunlun Mountains in Shenzhou are the center of the dragon veins in the world, and such a good place is definitely the most conspicuous of the gods. Then let's fast forward to see Liu Hua said point in fact, she doesn't need to say, everyone else will do the same. Aizen and the others had already finished watching it, so they broke out in a cold sweat. Wow, 100,000. Many, at least 200 or 300 gods are projected. Liu Hua exclaimed 0. Is the attraction of the land of Shenzhou so great, and there are so many gods patronizing it. There is also the dragon family. It's the ice dragon that appeared in the last frost disaster. How did it come back to life? And above it, there is a terrifying Dragon King, who is actually halfway with the Dark Archmage. Alice said in a trembling voice, wow, Izao fought back against a big octopus and its marine army at the seaside. The big octopus was blown up by Izao I don't know how many times, but it can be resurrected every time. Inri was surprised. Izao bosses are all held back north. Isn't that Marquis Woban in the world of gods? He seems to be killed by 2 demon gods. Shizi recognized Marquis Vauban in the video, and she was a little familiar with Marquis Vauban's opponent. Marquis Bang's opponent is a bit like a god, but it feels different and familiar. Enel frowned and couldn't remember for a while. Certainly familiar at this time. King gave the answer. That is Kazan, the ghost god. The online game dungeon we play. The power of the ghost swordsman in it comes from Kazan's curse. And the dark ghost next to it is probably Kazan. His good friend Ozma, the ghost of chaos, who fought against the dark archmage and reverse Izao is likely to be the demon apostle Longfoot Ross and the Tyrannosaurus King Baka. 200 or 300 gods, as well as other worldly beasts, demon apostles, ghosts and gods. Hearing this, Liu Hua and the others were all numb. The difficulty of this mission was too far for them. This seems to be the second stage of the task. Chapter 196 Marquis, got help. I can see how terrifying the world of the leader is. Shizi shook his head. This world is about to enter the age of the gods. Sakurajima May Road. Accurately speaking, it is the era of gods fighting for hegemony. The sage Hui said, hopefully I can find some experimental materials. Shinoichi said, yeah, gods, monsters, ghosts, and gods, their power, their blood, all have research value. Kenneth said, God, if you use the corpse of a god, do you think you can make a god mecha? Tony discussed, it is very possible. What is the basis of the mecha? Technology, materials, energy. The corpse of the gods is the best material and energy, and technical problems are not difficult for us at all. The last word of Xiaozi, you are still in the mood to discuss mechas. It seems that Marquis Woban is about to be killed. Do you care about him? At this time, Misaka Makoto reminded point. However, Aizen, Archer Hamadura and the others did not care about the life and death of the Marquis of Vauban. Orochimaru cares more about Marquis Vauban's body. If Zero Kizan dies, the body may be studied. That bad old man is not a good thing. He looks very eerie. Shizi said with some disgust, and many people in the internet cafe nodded tacitly. Hearing this, Orochimaru was stunned. He looked very terrifying. Maybe people in internet cafes are discriminating against him. Then, should he have a good time and play happily with everyone? Orochimaru was entangled in his heart. It was rare that there were so many like-minded scientists here, and he didn't want to be excluded. The Marquis has so many powers. I remember that he has the power of resurrection, so he should not die. At this time, Liu Hua also said, it doesn't matter if he is dead. He is not an official member of our internet cafe anyway. He said indifferently. The Marquis is not a scientist. He is not cute, and he is an arrogant man. These 3 points are the things that Shinono Bundle hates the most. Whether he lives or not, it's not good. Misaka Makoto said, cool la la la, don't worry. The leader of the team flew towards him. Whitebird said with a calm smile. He didn't treat Marquis Vauban as an outsider. After all, everyone in the internet cafe was his family, and Marquis Vauban had that chance to point, and it's impossible for the leader to ignore the life and death of Marquis Vauban point at this moment. The Marquis of Vauban is not as calm as Whitebird. He doesn't believe that his teammates will come to save him. Even if he does, the time will not be up. I'm so happy that I'm sad. Am I going to kill myself? The Marquis felt that he had suffered a recent tragedy, and he did not look like a godslayer at all. He had been hiding in the castle, but he did not expect to receive a mysterious invitation. At first, he thought that someone was using his power to ask him, but after accepting the task, he found out that it was a godsend. Big chance point there is actually an internet cafe who can connect to the heavens and the world, and he can get rich rewards when he issues tasks. Therefore, he did not say a word, directly participated in the battle, and did not log into the Superdimensional Internet Cafe to meet his teammates like Isaiah did. Point in his opinion, his strength does not need any teammates, and one person can handle everything. Point in fact, the real reason was that he knew that there was Luo Liang in Jiangnan City, and he would definitely not be able to fight Luo Liang, and this mission had gods to kill. So he chose another city. Point unexpectedly, the city he chose was the imperial capital of Shenzhou. Point, and in the divine capital, he met two gods destroy the ghost Kazan. Chaos Ghost Ozma. Encountering these two god tiers, the Marquis's old face was full of flowers, and his heart exploded with laughter. The titles of these two gods are awesome, but they are not famous in mythology, and they are definitely not powerful characters. They can be killed casually, and maybe they can get their powers. Isn't it beautiful? Point the result can be the power of destruction. The ghost god Kazan manifested the ghost god body as high as 10 feet, with a giant axe and a machete in one hand, slashing the Marquis, who turned into a giant wolf into the sky. Chaos magic bullet. Chaos Ozma is even more powerful, raising his hand and sending out a terrifying dark chaotic energy light ball. Point the Marquis's power. Gale. Raging wave not only did not cause any damage to Ozma at all, but he couldn't even block his chaotic light ball, which directly blew off an arm. Point. If it weren't for the fact that the Marquis of Vauban was powerful and experienced in combat, he would be dead by now. Point. But it's too soon. His powers have almost been used up. Point. The most lethal power, the karmic fire of condemnation, summoned the flames and was swallowed by Ozma of Chaos. The most powerful power, the wolf of Ragnarok, that is, the skull of Fenrir, the wolf of the gods that he summoned, was chopped to pieces by Kazan. Point. The resurrection power, the black dragon of the underworld, has also been used, and the current Marquis Vauban's magic power has also been overdrawn, and the power cannot be used, which can be described as a dead end. Be my puppet. Point. The chaos ghost Ozma, who looks like a mixture of fallen angels and devils, casts the blood of chaos and wants to erode the Marquis and turn him into his monster, like the world's revenge. Point. Destroying the world is Ozma's long cherished wish. Even if this planet is not the continent of Ered where he was born, it's over. God, who will save me? The Marquis of Vauban could not resist the power of Ozma of Chaos. Just when he was about to become a monster, a golden light fell from the sky and cut off one of Ozma's hand. This is a sword with divine power. Ozma was shocked to see that the broken arm could not be reborn. Although it was not his complete body, this body was not a projection, but a part of the body. There really is a god. Point. At this moment, the Marquis was also very frightened, shocked by surprise. He didn't expect that someone would be able to save him when he was about to die. Do I look like God Zero at this moment? Yi Chen's leisurely laughter came. Point. The Marquis's face froze suddenly. He looked up, his face full of horror. It's him. That monster. Brother saved you, but you said he was a monster? Do you want to die? At this moment, Luo Heo's figure appeared in the void, staring coldly at the Marquis. No, I made a mistake, Master Luo Heo. The Marquis of Vauban didn't have any energy left, and he was instantly angry like a baby. If you know it's wrong, just get out of the way. Don't delay the battle between my brother and me. These two ghosts and gods are not weaker than me, and you can defeat them? Luo Heo snorted, yes. When the Marquis heard that the two ghosts and gods were not weaker than Luo Heo, He immediately stepped aside in embarrassment. I secretly rejoiced in my heart. No wonder I was beaten so badly, and I was lucky not to be beaten for a second. Fight. Who are you? Why are you fighting with us? Are you forcibly summoning us here? Kazan, the god of destruction, looked at Chen and Luozi and asked. Kazan was a famous general of the Peru's empire before his death. He didn't want to destroy the world. In arid continent, he has been dying and wandering around. Therefore, he didn't really want to fight Chen and Luo Liang. Just now, the Marquis challenged him without authorization, and he didn't kill him. Forced summoning? It seems that something extraordinary has happened in your world, but no matter what, you can't be kept today. Chen said lightly. If Kazan is not eliminated, the human beings encountered by Kazan will get the curse of Kazan. Don't think that the days of becoming a ghost swordsman with the power of ghosts and gods will be easy. Many people go berserk because of Kazan's curse. The killing fights to the death before it stops. Needless to say, Ozma of Chaos, his curse of blood can make people mutate and become a terrifying demon, causing more harm than Kazan's 3.7 terrifying. Back then, the continent of Erid was utterly ruined, and the whole world all fell into chaos, and finally the Dark Holy War broke out to seal him. Are you going to kill me indiscriminately? Kazan asked angrily. Before his death, he was framed by the Emperor of the Empire. His whole family was destroyed, and he would suffer injustice after his death, which immediately aroused his anger. Kazan, you are still so pedantic. If you were willing to follow me, you would have destroyed the world long ago. Ozma the Chaos snorted coldly. Destroy the world? Can you do it? Chen's eyes turned cold. The mark of King Wu on his eyebrows activated, and a divine power that surpassed all ghosts and gods erupted. No. Ozma of Chaos and Kazan of Destruction felt that their ghostly power was greatly suppressed. Who are you, and why do you have such superior powers of ghosts and gods? Ozma of Chaos asked. The power of ghosts and gods? No. This is the power of Pluton. Chen said indifferently. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 197, Subduing the Ghosts and Gods, Swallowing the Starry Sky. The Power of Pluton. Chaos. Ozma's face is horrified, thinking of the most mysterious existence in his world, Shinigami Dreyfus. When Ozma was still a human, he was loyal to the Peru's empire together with his friend Kazan. He was the strongest mage in the empire. Because the emperor was afraid of them, he designed them to oppose them, and then arrested them in one fell swoop, and his family and lovers were killed by the empire. Angered, he signed a contract with Shinigami Dreyfus, awakened as a chaotic ghost, and destroyed the world with revenge. Dreyfus is a terrifying existence that can make him become a chaotic ghost just by contract. How strong he is, how much he is afraid of Dreyfus among the many Shinigami. Dreyfus is also the most mysterious one, while Pluton is the boss of all Shinigami and ghosts. Although Ozma of Chaos does not know the underworld where Shinigami lives, and whether there is a Pluton, but if he dares to call himself 20 Pluton, the power of ghosts and gods must be the highest. You really Pluton, at this time? Kazan also asked the same doubtful question in Ozma's heart. Does this seat need to prove it to you? Chen smiled indifferently. The surging divine power in Pluton's body formed a pitch black energy field, which instantly devoured Ozma of Chaos and Kazan of Destruction. Damn. In the Pluton force field, Ozma of Chaos and Kazan of Destruction wanted to resist, but they couldn't move. The gap was too obvious under this absolute suppression from superiors and subordinates. Even if they came to this world in a complete state, they would not be Chen's opponents. It's really good luck. The power has just restrained the two gods. Seeing this, Marquis Vauban envied Chen's good luck point. If he has the power of Pluton hates, he will also suppress the two ghosts and gods, but the effect is not as powerful as Chen, but at least he will not be defeated. Damn it, some kind come to my sealed land and fight me. Seeing that he couldn't hold it any longer, Ozma the Chaos provoked. In the different dimension cracks of Erid continent, his strength is the strongest. I know that you are not in your prime, but there is no absolute fairness in the world. Besides, I really came to your world, and you are not my opponent. Chen said lightly, you are very strong. I have no complaints if I lose to you. Kazan knew that he had no chance to escape, so he calmly accepted his fate. It's a man. It's a pity to kill you like this. Chen saw this, and after pondering for a while, he suddenly thought of a good idea, and said, would you like to surrender to me? Okay. Ozma of Chaos and Kazan of Destruction were stunned when they heard the words. This Pluton, what on earth is thinking? He said he wanted to kill them just now, but now he wants them allegiance. Chen was not surprised by their astonished attitude, but said confidently, signing a contract with me and becoming my subordinate god will do you no harm. Maybe in the future, this deity can fulfill your wish and resurrect your loved ones. Are you serious? Hearing this, not only Kazan was moved, but even Ozma the Chaos had great mood swings. Don't forget, I'm Pluton. It's easy for me to resurrect a person. When your family died, they didn't lose their souls. It's not difficult for me to resurrect them. Chen said leisurely. We how? Do you know you didn't lie to us? Ozma the Chaos does not trust anyone, so he will never do anything without guarantees. You who have signed a contract with Shinigami should know very well that the contract cannot be violated by both parties. As long as you do things for me, I will naturally fulfill the promise. Chen said lightly, okay, I believe in you. Kazan listened and agreed immediately. Anyway, he was wandering around, and it would be nice to have a place to live. Not to mention resurrecting the family. Ozma the Chaos looked tangled. Ozma, why don't you agree? Kazan knew that Ozma wanted to agree, and there seemed to be something unspeakable. I'm not the main body, and I have a contract with Shinigami Dreyfus. Ozma is limited by Shinigami Dreyfus contract and can no longer make contracts with other Shinigami. Otherwise, Dreyfus would not let him go, and the other Shinigami would not dare to offend Dreyfus. There is no need to worry about this issue. Shinigami depends on the level, and no matter how strong Shinigami is, he will not surpass me. Chen secretly said in his heart. The contract he signed was signed in the name of the Superdimensional Internet Cafe Master, and it was a supreme contract. Even if Ozma has a contract with Saint Seiya's Pluton hates, Chen's contract will still cover him as the master of the super dimension. It is so overbearing. If you can overwrite the previous contract, then I'm willing to offer you the greatest loyalty. Ozma the Chaos thought for a while and agreed. If Chen is really Pluton, or 073 Zuzen can overwrite his contract with Shinigami, very well. Remember what you said today. After all, Chen flicked his fingers, condensed two contracts with nihilistic power, and signed a contract with the other party as the master of the Superdimensional Internet Cafe. Pluton Chen. Ding. The system prompts. The contract takes effect, and the master gets the otherworldly subordinate ghosts, Kazan of Destruction, Ozma of Chaos. They can be summoned by summoning Shikigami, or by using their power of destruction and chaos. The power of destruction, the power of chaos, is a bit interesting. Chen has two more attribute powers. Although it is not comparable to the power of nothingness, it enhances his comprehensive ability. Congratulations, you, brother, you have subdued two ghosts and gods without bloodshed, which has strengthened your strength. Luoheo said with a smile, well, let's go. There are still hundreds of god projections waiting for us to clean up. We have to fight quickly. Chen said, brother, there are so many gods, how do you plan to fight quickly? Luoheo hesitated. It's very simple to devour the starry sky directly. Chen said coldly. Chapter 198 The Supreme Power of Pluton, the Creation of the World. Devouring the stars? Brother, do you want to bring the entire planet into your domain? Luo Liang Bingsu was smart, and in the blink of an eye, he thought of what Chen wanted to do. Well, so our first step is to go to Fengdu. Chen nodded with a smile. Fengdu is also the ghost capital. After the first Tianyuan breakthrough, Fengdu County became the most mysterious place of ghosts and gods. It is a holy place for cultivation of dark attribute awakeners. Because there is one of the largest different dimensional cracks in China, it often exudes powerful dark attribute energy. On the second day, when the meta dimension broke through, The dark attribute gods and ghosts and gods of the otherworld were projected there, which was one of the territories that the gods most wanted to compete for. With the strength of my brother and the personality of Pluton, Fengdu is really a good place, Luo Heo said with sincere emotion. This step is really a brilliant move. Let's go. Now Shen Cao's loss is not small. There is no time to wait. Yi Chen said point. Because of the 3 hanging walls of Yi Chen, Saitama, and Izayoi, plus all the gods descended to China in a concentrated manner. The land of China is not as miserable as the Western world point, but there is discord between the gods, and conflicts have begun to break out in order to compete for faith. So Yi Chen must move quickly to suppress this chaotic era. That, Master Luo Heo, His Royal Highness Pluton. Can you take me for a ride? At this time, Marquis Vauban raised his hand and asked weakly point. He is extremely tired now, but he doesn't have the strength to fly back to the super dimension internet cafe point. There are 200 or 300 god projections in the land of Shenzhou. If they encounter anyone, the Marquis can't beat it now and can only wait to die. Go back to the internet cafe and stay. Yi Chen waved his hand and used his power, the incarnation of wind, to blow the Marquis back to the internet cafe, and then Roman, a hurricane, escaped into the void point. Shenzhou, Fengdu, the violent tornado roared. The black clouds on the sky were crushed by the pitch black thunder, and the time and space seemed to be shattered, which suddenly caused the idea of the projection of the dozens of gods fighting here. Who is it? What a powerful god. It seems to be the god of the underworld. Could it be that he came to snatch the territory with us, the otherworldly gods of darkness, the gods of the dead, the gods of death, the gods of sleep, the gods of dreams, the gods of plagues, and other dark gods who came out of the cracks in different dimensions, and their more than 10 subordinate gods projected very dignified. Amitabha, I didn't expect that in addition to the god of darkness, there are other gods of the underworld. The one who scrambled Fengdu with the dark gods turned out to be a Buddhist deity. The head of the deity was projected and dressed like the king of Xitigarbha, and the king of Xitigarbha sat on a mount that was suspected of listening to the divine beast. Under the king of Xitigarbha, there were 10 temples. Yama, like an alien god. Wow, brother, this otherworld's god is very interesting. In the center of the tornado's roar, the pitch black thunder light formed a chaotic black hole, which burst open, and Yi Chen and Luo appeared in shock, shocking the gods. When Luo Heo and Yi Chen saw the Buddhist deity, their eyes lit up. Yeah, I didn't expect that otherworld also has Buddhist heritage. Yi Chen narrowed his eyes and said point. He originally thought that the gods of the otherworld did not have the gods of China and Buddhism point. According to Meng Fear's inner monologue, the gods in her mouth should not include the Buddha point. After all, in her mind, this is an online game world. Although it is a mix of Eastern and Western styles, the Western magic style is more focused, and there should not be so many Eastern fantasy element. I don't know if Meng Fear knows about these Buddhas. Yi Chen secretly said in his heart, HMPH, what Buddhist heritage is a heresy that has risen in our world, and sooner or later we will exterminate them. The god of darkness disdainfully said, Amitabha, the benefactors, your demonic obstacles are too deep. For the sake of the world, even if the poor monks risk their lives, they will save you. Point. Facing the god who resembled King Jizo, facing the god of darkness, he had a merciful expression on his face. Point. Hearing this, Yi Chen laughed. If you open your mouth and close your mouth, the world will live in the world. It really is that familiar taste. The inheritance sect of these bald donkeys should be the same as China. Donor, where are you holy? The god who looked like Xitigarbha king raised his brows and asked when he heard Yi Chen's disdainful laughter. Superdimensional god sect holy son. Yi Chen casually arranged such an identity for himself, an identity that was obviously noble, capable of commanding the superdimensional religion, and did not conflict with god of destruction. Third, Kakarot, hyperdimensional religion. The god who resembled Xitigarbha had never heard of this, because he and Vulcan were not in the same path, and even had a hostile relationship. Oh, it's you. I heard that you cleaned up the boy of Vulcan." At this time, when the god of darkness heard Yi Chen's identity, his face suddenly became extremely solemn, igniting the gods who believed in God, and no matter how hard they fought, they would not really die. But Vulcan's aura in the Otherworld was really completely extinguished, and even the god of wind and Thor died. For the gods of the Otherworld, the superdimensional religion is a terrifying rival and the number one enemy. Vulcan is dead, but don't panic, because you'll see him soon. Yi Chen said indifferently. We'll see him? Don't be too arrogant, boy. The god of death holding a sickle, a gloomy way. That's right. Do you think your superdimensional religion is invincible? The god of the undead said angrily. It's really a fight. We are not afraid of you. Sleeping god said coldly. HMPH, you can do it. Just try it. The dark god smiled coldly, waved his hand, and let their subordinate gods surround Yi Chen and Luo Liang. The projection strength of these subordinate gods is the lowest level in the 6th order, and any 6th order powerhouse can be easily crushed, but if there are too many, it can still cause some trouble for the 6th order powerhouse. However, Yi Chen's evaluation of them has only 8 words. Stinky fish and rotten shrimp. Mantis arm is a car. Brother, I'll take care of them. Luo planned to suppress them, and his icy gaze also included the pedestrians of the King of Tibet. Xitagab, the king's face, was full of astonishment. He didn't expect the superdimensional religion to be so crazy, and even they wanted to clean up together. So crazy. Aren't you afraid of being attacked by the gods? Where did they come from? But he soon knew where Yi Chen got his confidence. You don't need to take action. It's almost time. Yi Chen's mouth, of Zao Heo, slightly raised, and the Pluton mark on the eyebrows burst into divine light, and the divine light and the heaven and the earth completed the fusion point. At the moment when the fusion was completed, the black sky and the earth full of dead energy emerged with endless pure and dark power, swallowing the heaven and earth, turning the heaven and earth into a pure land of bliss. And the pure land of bliss continued to spread, covering the entire divine state, Earth, and even the surface of the planet. This is the power of Pluton, the pure land of bliss, so strong, even the world is swallowing up. Luo Heo exclaimed. My brother really wanted to use the dark energy of Fengdu to use the pure land of bliss to devour the planet. After dominating the planet, he would suppress all the turmoil in the planet in one fell swoop and complete the second stage of the mission. No, I'm not devouring the world. Yi Chen shook his head. If he devoured the heavens and the earth, the planetary restraint force would definitely stop him. He was using Fengdu's geographical advantage to support him in displaying the supreme power of Pluton, the creation of the world. He is not devouring the planet, but creating the underworld within the planet. Chapter 199 Fusion of the Underworld. The Gods Panic. Creating the underworld and constructing the 6 paths reincarnation is a good thing for the inhibitory force. With the underworld in it, it is easier to manage her planet. At the same time, it will greatly enhance the strength of the inhibitory force, allowing her to grow rapidly. The second Tianyuan mutation gave her a great challenge to her inhibitions, consuming a lot of her strength. But the laws of Otherworld brought by the gods were also absorbed by her, perfecting the laws of her own world and accelerating her growth. For example, the second Tianyuan mutation had only taken 20 minutes, and the inhibitory power had grown from an infant state to a 3-year-old state. And Yi Chen's creation of the underworld can directly make her grow from a 3-year-old state to a 7-year-old state. Therefore, the creation of Yi Chen is a major event that is fully supported by the inhibitory force. The inhibitory power is the Holy Spirit of the 7th rank, so no matter how young she is, the power she holds is far stronger than that of the gods originally. The creation of the underworld was a great feat that required Yi Chen to reach rank 7. However, Yi Chen's own divine power was extremely close to the rank. With the geographical bonus of Fengdu Ghost City and the support of restraint, he saved a lot of divine power at the same time. In the second Tianyuan mutation, the dead souls all hoped for a chance to be reincarnated, so their willpower turned into belief, which was absorbed by Yi Chen's belief ring, which greatly increased his power at the right time and place. Yi Chen has it all. Therefore, the underworld's coverage of the planet was completed. All at once. Next, just wait for the underworld created by Chen to completely merge with the planet. When the underworld is completely integrated into the planet, Chen will become the lord of the underworld on this planet, and he will obtain the 7th order divine power in the planet, and the second stage task can be completed in an instant. At this moment, because of Chen's creation, it caused a very shocking impact on the gods of the other world, the apostles of the demon world, the monsters in the abyss, and another strong man in the other world. Shen's How direction, the monsters, powerhouses, and gods in the western world all stared at the east, struggling and hesitating in their hearts, not knowing whether they should go into the muddy waters. The 200 or 300 gods in Shen's How have their own thoughts. Some rush towards Fengdu, some wait and see, and some continue to grab territory. At this time, there were 2 places where the battle situation was the most intense in China. One is Luoyang. One is the coast of Jiangdong City. On the coast of Jiangdong City, Rosterfoot, the 8th apostle of the demon world from the dungeon universe, who was invincible in the sea, met the most terrifying opponent in his life, Isaiah. A more troublesome existence than the first apostle of the demon world, Khan of Fate. In the ocean, Longfoot Rost is an invisible body, an assimilation of the ocean, an immortal existence. Although Khan is far stronger than him, he cannot kill him. It was reversible, that Isaiah could punch to the flesh, breaking how many tentacles he did not know. Fortunately, Rost's regeneration ability is strong enough, otherwise he will be killed. I'm not an evil creature. How many times do I have to tell you to believe me? Roster's huge octopus head was now bruised and comical. Hey, in a fight, you have to meet interesting opponents. Your strength in the sea can match mine. I have no reason to let go. Going back to Isaiah's intuition is accurate, seeing that Roster is not evil, but Roster, who has endless power in the sea, is a good target. So fighting is his real purpose. But just when he was about to go all out, he stopped when he saw that the night sky became dim, and the ghostly breath began to merge with the earth and the ocean. Fengdu, is it over there? Go and have a look. Reversely, Isaiah sensed the situation on Fengdu's side and thought it was very interesting, and immediately turned around and flew over. Fortunately he's gone. This is not the ocean of the devil. My power is not really invincible. Long-footed Rost sighed in relief. Turning back to Isaiah, and hitting him again can really kill him. Outside Luoyang City, Devil Fire Cannon, the Dark Archmage bombed with one blow, and the dragon army such as the Ice Dragon Baby Breath, the Frost Dragon, the Dark Evil Dragon, and the Flaming Dragon were all shot down. Even the Ice Dragon Scasser, one of the commanders of the army, was annihilated by one blow, and fell into a deep sleep again. Hahaha, you are very strong, immortal and indestructible, and your power is infinite. You have the strength to become an apostle when you come to the devil world. Are you from that superdimensional religion? One of the demon apostles who occupied Luoyang, the Tyrannosaurus King Baka, laughed and made a deafening sound. The vanguard elite who can destroy his Tyrannosaurus King core with one blow. The strength of the Dark Archmage has been recognized by him. It's just that the Dark Archmage who is fighting against him is silent. He is a taciturn person, and he is in the state of an elf, so he doesn't like to talk. Don't talk, then take the move. Dragon King's wrath. The Tyrannosaurus King Baka saw that the Dark Master did not pay attention to him, so he erupted with dragon breath, like a magma flame full of destructive power, forming a beam cannon, rushing towards the Dark Master, penetrating the sky, destroying the sky, and destroying the earth. Devil Fire Dark Archmage was about to fight back, but was suddenly stunned. Because in front of him appeared Lightbulb, a bald head to be exact. Keep punching hard. In Chen's How, Saitama, who did not know how many gods, suddenly flashed and punched the magma flame beam cannon and made more than 10 cat punches, hitting the Tyrannosaurus King's indestructible scales heavily. Tick, tick, tick. Woo. I'll be back. The Tyrannosaurus King Baka, who was hit, was almost killed on the spot. Relying on his own racial talent, he barely escaped the catastrophe and returned to the different dimension. This is let's go. I thought he was very strong. Saitama looked at his fist and said regretfully, the Dark Archmage is speechless, and somewhat understands Saitama's grief. In the world of cards, the evil god of darkness and the creator god of light will only appear in a catastrophe, and the usual Dark Archmage is invincible. Back then, he also sealed himself, because he was too powerful, and Woody was really too lonely. The energy over there is horrible. Suddenly, Saitama felt the terrifying energy of Fengdu, and leaped over their. At the same time, Shen Cao Changan, unlimited magic power in the realm of the gods, the sword of the oath of victory, the realm of God, Taiji map of life and death. Merlin and Laozi joined forces, and the two star powers cooperated tacitly, pacified the wars in dozens of nearby cities, destroyed dozens of god projections, and sealed the cracks in different dimensions here. I finally got things done outside the customs. Let's go to Loyang next. Laozi muttered. Okay, wait. Merlin was about to agree, but suddenly sensed Fengdu's situation. The corners of his mouth raised slightly. The leader of the team is doing something interesting. Let's go over and take a look. Oh, that's very good. Laozi felt a sense of it, and immediately responded. The two flew to Fengdu. And when Laozi and Merlin arrived, Izao and Saitama also arrived. Because Laozi and Merlin can teleport, and Izao and Saitama can't fly, they rely on their body speed, so they will come first. What's the situation? Half of the gods in Shenzhou are gathered here. Merlin found that there were more than 100 gods gathered in Fengdu, attacking a ball of light that flashed black thunder, and he couldn't help but be surprised. That black thunder ball of light is exactly the Pluton barrier cast by the leader, and Aluo Heo and the leader are inside. What are you still amazed at? Don't hurry up and help. He seems to be devouring the entire planet. The god of darkness, King Jizo, and other gods projected that they were still slow after seeing Merlin and Laozi's arrival, and immediately shouted anxiously, help. Merlin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. These guys actually asked him to help, and regarded him as one of the gods. Help, haha, interesting. Izao grinned. 100 gods, we should be able to play happily. Saitama muttered. The two of them were gearing up, wanting to go up to help and help these gods to rest forever. Don't do it. They are deliberately attracted by me. In the ball of light, Chen said to stop Saitama and Izao, then looked at the projections of the 100 gods attacking the barrier, and said coldly, thank you for your divine power. After all, the black thunder light ball exploded with black hole level gravity, swallowing up all the divine power and development projected by the gods, and turning it into the basic energy and laws of the underworld. Boom. Under the screams of the projection of the gods in Fengdu, the world became clean in an instant. The darkness that enveloped the planet disappeared in an instant. It's just that the gods outside Fengdu sensed something incredible. That is the underworld that this planet did not have before, and it was born. Which god tier created the world? At this moment, the deities of the gods in the other world, who were sleeping in the underworld, panicked in their hearts. That planet actually has a creator god. Chapter 200 The opening of the galaxy, the real use of planetary devastation. It's over. We seem to have a big deal. Another world. The endless darkness of the underworld. The dignified way of the god of darkness. You must know that it was the continent of the gods, where they were located. The three creation gods who created the heaven, the world, and the underworld fought a heretic battle with the self-proclaimed three Buddhas, detonating the twilight of the gods, and causing the gods to fall. As for the three creation gods and the three Buddhas, their collective whereabouts are unknown, because they broke through time and space. Now there are no creator gods in the continent of gods. It took countless years for the gods to breathe a sigh of relief. 18 years ago, a different dimensional crack appeared in the continent of the gods, causing chaos in time and space, connecting the Earth-world. That is the Earth where Chen is. The gods began to recover because of the first Tianyuan mutation. The second Tianyuan mutation was an opportunity for a complete resurrection. Under the deduction of the gods, I just didn't expect that the Earth with the average force value actually gave birth to a creation god who could create the underworld. With the god of creation, how can they conquer the planet and harvest their beliefs if the other party does not counterattack the continent of the gods? They should be lucky. He is just the creator god of the underworld. Yes, we have the formation left by Uranus in the heaven. As long as we receive faith and are fully resurrected. We don't need to worry too much. Our Poseidon Dragon Palace is also safe. God of Darkness, are you asking for more blessings? Among the sleeping gods in the underworld, only the dark gods panicked, and the other gods were not very worried. If your lips are dead and your teeth are cold, aren't you afraid of revenge? The dark god said, what are you afraid of? We didn't offend each other. The Vulcan who offended them is dead. It's a big deal that we don't stay in China. We all go to the Western world, and the superdimensional religion obviously doesn't care about the life and death of the Western world. If they don't give us a way to live, we will fight with him in the heaven and the sea. Anyway, we can't fight him in the underworld and seek death. Anyway, the meaning of the gods is one. The gods of the underworld are dead or alive. They will not care. The god of darkness gritted his teeth and wanted to kill all the grass on the wall, but unfortunately he just thought about it. He didn't have that kind of strength, and if he had that kind of strength, he wouldn't be so afraid of Yi Chen. At this time, Shen Tao Feng do. At the moment when Yi Chen created the underworld and the earth completely merged, most of the divine power in his entire body was taken away, and his face seemed a little pale. Brother, are you alright? Luo Liang asked with concern as he supported Yi Chen. It's okay, no wonder Pangu Keishiandi will fall. Creation is indeed countless times more difficult than destruction. Yi Chen, after occupying the right place at the right time and the right people, and after devouring the divine power and laws of the projections of hundreds of gods, created the underworld, and was attacked by such a strong backlash. It was truly terrifying. But it is also worthwhile, because the second phase of the task has been completed, and the efficiency is much faster than expected. Master Team Leader, the projection of the gods has stopped. At this time, Laozi deduced and found that Shen Tao was already at peace. The projection of the gods did not fight for territory, and they were still suppressing the monsters that came out of the cracks in different dimensions. It's strange that the gods not only no longer compete for territory, but are still guarding the human race. And the battle in the Western world has also stopped a big step. Merlin used a crystal ball to observe the situation in the Western world, and found that the situation has stabilized a lot. The gods have found their conscience? Saitama asked curiously, how is that possible? It's just that they are afraid of brother, so they are good gods. Luo Heo said disdainfully, it's a pity, the mission has been completed. Isaiah said regretfully, it is difficult to have such a lively event in the future. Isn't there a third stage mission? Merlin looked at Isaiah, not understanding why he said that. You don't understand. The third stage mission is destined to be a long-term mission. Going back to Isaiah's indifferent way. Why do you say that? Merlin really didn't understand why it was a long-term task, and he said it was destined. You have to ask the leader of the team. Isaiah said with a smile. Merlin's face was full of black lines, and this guy didn't know the details, but he got a task reminder. Isaiah is right. From the moment when the gods in Shen's house suppressed the monsters in the cracks of different dimensions, the second stage of the task was completed, and the third stage of the task, the galaxy era, opened. Yi Chen said quietly. He guessed that the third phase of the task will be very difficult, and now it seems that it is not difficult but long. The opening of the galaxy age. Merlin and Laozi both slightly changed their eyebrows, not quite understanding the meaning of the galaxy age. But it does sound great. Our third stage mission is to defend the Earth. Do you think that the second celestial mutation affects only the Earth? That's wrong. Every celestial mutation affects the entire universe. Yi Chen looked up at the starry sky with deep eyes. In the past 18 years, the strength of the human awakened cannot leave the Earth, so they do not know about things outside the galaxy. Not to mention outside the Milky Way. Even if there is any change in the solar system, the size and size are unknown to them. If it wasn't for the mission prompt, Yi Chen didn't expect that the biggest enemy in the future would come from outer space. Brother is saying that our future enemies will come from outside the sky. Luo Heo said. Outer sky is outer space. The enemy should be aliens. Zero asked for flowers. Yi Chen nodded, not saying they are all enemies, but after the interstellar war, it is inevitable. Interstellar war. Merlin's heart was shocked. His current strength is only a star level destroyer. In the interstellar war, the star-level combat power may not be the strongest point, at least the group leader, Saitama, and Izayoi, who can blow stars with one punch, are the strongest ones. It was a world of great strife. Laozi murmured, brother, if the enemy has the strength to strike a star, how should we defend? Luodeo. There is restraint. The power of hitting a star will be limited, and my underworld has already merged with the earth. Even if the earth is unfortunately destroyed, the creatures on the earth will enter the pure land of bliss, and then I will reshape a new one. Just a planet. Chen said lightly. Reshaping planet, really? Merlin frowned. It was more difficult than creating the underworld. Zero. Hey, you forgot the world of Hokage. Did Sage of Six Paths create the moon with planetary devastation? Chen said leisurely. Reshaping the planet is extremely difficult for other gods, and even for inhibition. But for Chen, who can enter the heavens and the world, it is not too easy to use planetary devastation to draw some terrestrial marine creatures from each earth to form a brand new Earth. After the planet is reorganized, the ecological balance, the atmosphere, etc. There are so many top scientists in the superdimensional internet. Café, are you afraid that it will not be possible? Don't forget Chen also has the trump card of Big Wolf. If he promises to give Grey Wolf dozens of little sheep, this guy's estimated to be able to directly create a planet reset mechanism. Mr. Leader, you are a genius. Created by planetary devastation. Merlin never expected planetary devastation to reshape the planet. Planetary devastation, looks like I'm going to learn too. Saitama muttered, what did you learn to do? Merlin asked curiously. Saitama didn't want to be too invincible. I can use the moon as a sandbag in the future. Saitama said with a smile, good idea. Izayoi nodded. He was too bored on Earth, and he didn't dare to use his full strength. After learning this trick, he could vent when he was bored. Do you guys use planetary devastation like this? Merlin suddenly felt that he was talking to Izayoi and Saitama, just like Shizuru Hakusho was talking to him. The world of the boss was not something he could understand. Okay, the second stage task is completed. There is no battle in the third stage. Let's go back to the internet cafe first. The internet cafe seems to be coming to Mengxin. Chen sensed the internet cafe and found two pieces of information that were ignored. Possibly a newcomery. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.